Hello, it's me, Jess. Welcome to my channel. And today I thought we could do a quick mini type reading on what does this person want you to know, or they wish you knew, they wish that they could tell you, is what I'm hearing very strongly. Either about themselves, about their goals, their dreams, their wishes, what drives them, their values, their life circumstances, how they're thinking, how they're doing, how they view you, how they feel about you, how they feel about your situation. And I'm hearing very, very strongly what went down here between the two of you. So there could be like some kind of strong message, like it's this person really, really wants to talk about that, or they really, really want to explain like what went down here between the two of you. It's a strong energy that I'm getting even before we get into the piles and we figure out which pile or multiple piles that could potentially be associated with. But before we get too far into the reading, I do also just want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart to those of you who have donated to my channel here in the last week or so. It has really, really been meaningful for me, and it's been very heartwarming and very touching and soul reviving in a way I wasn't exactly expecting, to read all of your very warm, very heartfelt messages that you've sent to me. Some of you are saying that the messages were just timely, very timely for you. It really clicked a lot of things into place. It helped you see something in a new light, or grapple with something in a different way, or actually shift and move something that had been stuck or had been blocking or had been confusing you for a long time. And I just want to say, no matter how long I do this job on platforms like this and over on Patreon, I will never get tired of just hearing that the message is resonating and that it's helping and that it's actually landing in a way that is productive and is healthy for you. That is something, that's why I continue to do what I do. It really, really is. And I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. So with that being said, we've got 3 piles here: pile number 1, pile number 2, and pile number 3. I'll put the picture up and I will see you at your reading. Okay, this is so weird because I'm used to shuffling cards and having a lot more here, having a lot more to deal with. And instead we're just kind of getting right into this reading because I'm just going to be working with this one card. So you might feel this way here about this person, that you're used to having more to work with, is what I'm getting. Or maybe this person feels this way about you. That energy could really go either way. Now with this person, I feel like you actually may have questions about this person's defensiveness. They feel very blocked off to you. It's like you can't really get a lot of information. You're having trouble reading them. They're not giving you a lot emotionally. They're not giving you a lot in terms of their body language, in terms of their facial expressions, in terms of emoting or anything here in general. But this person is very much they could be at a distance. You feel iced out here from this person. You feel very blocked off. And it's not a wonder that you would feel that way here about this person, because this person is an observer and they would want you to know that here about themselves. They don't mean anything by it. They are very protective here because of something here that's gone on in their past, something here in their 8th house. I feel like this person has been, somebody here at least, there's a very significant situation, but I feel like 22 is a master number. This person is a master at observation, okay? And that doesn't just happen without practice. So I feel like this person has had people who have tried to dominate them, who have tried to control them, who have been very strategic or very sneaky or very sly around them. It may have had to do with sex. It may have had to do with money. I feel like this person is a plutonic person and they've dealt with other plutonic people. I am hearing Pluto Venus. I think this person comes off as Venus, whenever you meet them. So this is very interesting because they're showing up here as Pluto. And Venus is very loving, very harmonious, very sociable. So the way that this person is not giving you much, I think, is in a very kind, polite kind of way. There's maneuvering. But I have to tell you, this maneuvering feels defensive. Because this person doesn't like a snake. This person is used to people coming at them. And so they have developed ways to navigate these situations. And one of the big ways that this person has develop themselves, and they're second to none at this, right? We've got the number 22 here, which is a master number. No, this person is very, very good at observing. And in a way, you might not realize to the extent that they're observing and all of the things that they're just kind of like picking up on here. This person is good at picking up a rat, picking up a hypocrite as well. And so it's either this person, they might feel, there's three categories I feel like they feel that you could fall in here. And I don't want to trigger anybody, but you're having problems with this person or you wouldn't be here at the reading, right? So they've picked up on a rat. Okay, and they feel like it's you or it's somebody around you. They could have picked up on a hypocrite, right? Where there's a lot of platitudes that are being spoken about, but they're not actually being followed through with, some kind of a situation here like that. Or they've picked up on somebody maneuvering around them, being strategic, trying to control, trying to get at them, trying to dominate them or control them, especially in terms of the way that they think. And I'm getting that this person actually thinks very differently than a lot of people, and they've worked very, very hard to protect that here within themselves. So this person is observant, okay? And this master number 22, they're a master at this. They are second to none. And that is not something that just happens quickly or easily or cheaply or overnight. They have practice at this. So this person has been around people like this in their past who've tried to dominate them, control them, be strategic around them, lie to them. And it might have had something to do with sex, SA. Potentially, it could have had to do with money, power dynamics, power disimbalances. This person has not been treated fairly in their relationships, okay? And this is across the board. So, and I am getting like, this is work scenarios, this is relationship dynamics. They don't trust that like whatever is fair and whatever is true is going to come out. They think whoever has the gold makes the rules. That's what they've been shown kind of in their life. Whoever has the power gets to make the decisions and make the moves, regardless of whether or not they're right, regardless of whether or not they're virtuous. And this person tries to protect themselves here from this energy. You think this person comes off strong here in a type of way, and they are very strong. And part of that strength and their capability is their ability to see, their ability to observe and then navigate situations here. I feel like this person sort of like in a social situation, they tiptoe into it. But again, they come off like Venus. So they're very polite. They're very, they might be very beautiful on the face of them. They're very well balanced. They're very harmonious. They give love, right, with Venus. I think they're good in a give and take. That's what they do. Venus is give and take, equal give and take, right? Equal partnerships. And like I said, they have not experienced this in the past. They kind of, but this person has had healthy relationships, okay? That's something they've very much worked on here within themselves. But they have developed this kind of observation of whether or not somebody is interested and capable of interacting with them on a above board, respectful, I listen to you, you listen to me, we're both going to have something valuable. That's a key thing here for this person. Do you see that everyone brings a type of value, even if they're not sitting at the top of the hill, even if whoever has the gold makes the rules, even if they're not making the rules? This person very much believes that every single person has value, and that hidden value that you have to kind of like uncover. This person actually believes that there's like the most beautiful things and the most worthwhile things and the most valuable things are oftentimes like hidden or buried, or they require protecting. So this person wants to protect their own buried treasure is what I'm hearing. And they have developed filtration systems around them. I'm seeing this person in the middle of a bog. And, a bog is an interesting example, right? I always think of the quote from Brené Brown. She says, like, shame is the bog of the soul. So this person actually may have shame and stuff that they've had to, like, work through, and guilt. And this would be around power dynamics and maybe even wanting power. But what's coming through from that is they want their own power. There's, like... it's almost the reverse of, the phrase that says when somebody has a position of power, being treated as an equal feels like a demotion, or like it feels unfair. For this person, they go the opposite way with it. So this is where their relationships become unbalanced, where they're around people who are used to being treated with privilege or being deferred to, or thinking that they're just the shiz, and expecting to be treated that way. And so they're used to, I'm watching someone step on heads. And they're used to that. That's the way that they kind of like live their life, right? But then this person's on the other end of it, where they're used to being treated poorly. By people who have some type of power over them. They've not seen power used well And this is even like social power, like a mother and a father, like who did not use their authority, or they don't wear authority well. So this person doesn't, like, kind of has an innate distrust of this, but they go the other way with it, where they want power. And the power that they actually want is to be treated as an equal. But when you've been treated less than for so long and looked down on, and I'm hearing made fun of, then asking for your power back, taking your own level of power back, of, you're not going to talk to me that way. I don't engage with people who are dismissive towards me. I don't allow for this. I will have my own opinion. You can deal with that. You don't have to agree with me, but you can allow for it or you cannot. It's this basic level of holding and maintaining a boundary was disrespected in this person. So even just asking and maintaining for them to be treated as an equal in their situations on a human level, right? There's a threshold of respect that it doesn't matter if you're the king of the world, and you're interacting with the janitor of the world. Like, there's a level of respect you never cross, like in a threshold, even if you do have to kind of like run the ship or anything like that. So this person is scared of wanting that. They feel bad for wanting that. So that makes me feel like this is a person who has very like Libran ideals. They are givers in their relationship, and that's what they feel like they have to protect. They like this about themselves, that they are giving, that they are fair, that they are willing to show up, that they will be differential. This is not a person. I'm hearing the word power bottom, and the way it's coming through is like this person understands that there's a power in being humble and being giving and going to the lowest of the places. Like, this person understands that there's a love there and there's a power there that can be kind of unmatched. They're very, very aware of that. They like that. They want to nurture and protect that in themselves, but they have become aware through their lives that they cannot just open this energy up to anybody. This is a person who would be comfortable with so their romantic relationship, that is like second to none, is what I'm hearing. Like, this person is excellent to be in that kind of a dynamic here with. They do know that to a certain extent. And they, again, there's this kind of like filtration system that is around them. Now, I'm saying that, and if you know this person, I feel like there's people around them because they have like a gravitas, they have a magnetism. There's like a, what do you know? There's a mystery, there's a mystique, there's an enigma is like the word that I'm hearing that comes kind of like off of this person very naturally, because there's a depth to this person, and because they don't feel like they need to, I'm hearing, make themselves common or make themselves commonly accessible. It's not because of everything that I've described here. To this person, they feel that that's unsafe to do. They don't expect others to do it for them. Actually, this person would, they would feel like there's something not right or not okay if somebody just like opens the doors to them like too soon. They're like, oh my gosh, somebody's gonna like run in here with a bulldozer one day. Like, you better like tighten that up, right? This person, they wanna feel good, and they want other people to feel good. They like seeing boundaries in other people is also what I'm hearing. Now, this person, they absorb so much from their environment. This is through some type of observation, but it's multi-level, multi-dimensional. So this is maybe some type of an empath where they're picking up on like the way that they're feeling picks up on a lot of things before their conscious mind can really even process it. So this person has like a very, very strong intuition, and I'm hearing mind reading. And I mean that like the psychological term mind reading, which can often develop as a way of like when somebody has been mistreated in their life, they pick up on these signals quick, and studies have shown that mind reading impulse, it's like 75% accurate, which it's not like totally accurate, but this would be a type person who's like, they only want like, I think they have a broad network around them, or they have friends from all over and all different types of friends. This is a person who like, you would see this reflect, there's not like a homogeny around this person at all. That would be very noticeable to you, that this person likes people for being who they are. And they respect people who don't fit into a mold because they feel like those people are being more authentic. And to a certain extent, this person feels like if people come off too much, like they're trying to fit into a role, or like they come off too polished, or something like that, that they're doing it trying to like scheme, trying to get something, trying to, like they don't trust that energy so much. So you would feel that this person has built a life for themselves around Aquarian values. And this person, what they really want more than anything is honestly like kumbaya. It's like peace, love, and rock and roll is what I'm hearing. Like they want everybody to be happy. They have strong Aquarian values is honestly like what I'm getting here for this. Now, there's something that has gone on here in this person's life where they felt in the shadows, and they, to a certain extent, whatever has gone on here has made them angry, and has made them realize something here about themselves, because they have these values and they have gone through their life, at least at the beginning part of their life, trying to bring about these very Aquarian, very Libran-esque values that they value peace and love and harmony in other people. And this is a person who is willing to make the sacrifices to bring that about. You know, they're willing. This is a person, this is why they're so good in relationships, is because they're willing to put their own ego down, which I'm hearing Spirit is saying, and I don't know if this is like overall, but Spirit is saying like, that's an accurate measure of how much someone loves you or how much someone loves something else. It's like how much they're willing to keep that ego in check in order to accomplish that. And this person has been willing to do that, and they have done that. This person may have spent time in networks, communities, even if it's like, you know, living on a college campus or something. They would have thrived in that environment. Where people were living more communally. They may have an interest in living communally. This person has a very communal vibe that is genuine and authentic and eclectic. This is a person who doesn't actually see similarities between themselves and others based on anything superficial, like, you know, race, nationality, height, creed, anything like that. They notice people who have these kind of similar values, and they see directly into the heart of that. And that's where the people that they feel like we're the same, you know, type of energy with. I think that's obvious. Something about that's obvious. Like here, when you look at this person, you look at the way that they have built their life. But like I was saying, being in these group dynamics, it's like this person has such a power in them. And this filtration, this has sort of become a self-fulfilling prophecy in this person's past, where because they never wanted to be the brute. This is what I'm saying too. It's like where this person has been mistreated. They've seen other people mistreat power. So they've shied away from power. They're like, I don't need to draw the sword from the stone, right? So this would be the diamond in the rough. This is Aladdin opening the Cave of Wonders. This is King Arthur pulling the sword from the stone. They don't know that yet because they would never approach it to begin with, right? They have that heart. I'm watching, you know, the weighing of the heart against the feather, and this person's heart balances out with the feather. Like this is a genuinely good person, but it's like because they've seen these power dynamics and they don't appreciate it, and they never want other people to feel that way around them. They have actually curbed their own power to a place where it's really, really hurt them. You know, where this person's power, this person's strength, which the way I'm describing this person is beautiful, right? But our society doesn't exactly view these types of traits as like leadership worthy. You know, we think that somebody who's bossing everybody around and really putting themselves out in front of the crowd, and, you know, like those are people like with leadership abilities, when really like this is a person who would do well with power, who, you know, who has demonstrated to themselves that they would view leadership as a service-oriented position, but because of how they've been treated, they've cloaked themselves. And so they haven't gotten chosen for leadership positions. They haven't been seen as the person that they are. So it's this self-fulfilling prophecy of, you know, there's these tyrannical people around me that do not handle power and leadership well, and they overlook me. They treat me like I'm somebody to be stepped on, to be talked down to, cut off in sentences. Almost, I'm picturing like not even be looked at, you know, despite this person's, I think, magnetism and their innate beauty. They're not seen as a contender, like their own energy as a contender in a space, somebody to be respected. This is about respect, right? So they have not felt that way. And there's been a situation here, maybe this has been with you. It doesn't have to be directly with you. I'm picturing, again, it's like there's this Pluto person right here with Venus kind of like popping out. This is their energy. They come off like Venus, right? And it's a very real part of them. But then there's this network around. So I think there was a woman, and I don't know who this is. Could have been a mom, could have been somebody who was kind of like them in that, or it's a Venus dominant. So like this could be a very creative person, but there was some kind of a situation here like that, and it pissed this person off. It absolutely did. And or like some kind of choice or something where there was a situation here where it all kind of culminated, and this person didn't feel seen, valued, appreciated. The mirroring was not okay, And this person knew it. And this person was deeply hurt by this. And I'm picturing an Aquarius, right? And Aquarius is the water bearer, but the whole thing about the water bearer is the vase, vase or vase, put it in the comment section. It has to get like cracked, and that's how the water comes out. That there was something like that cracked this person's vase. So the nourishment and the water and something here has really been able to flow here from this person. But I'm picturing the Aquarius card from this deck where it's like there's masks kind of like off to the side. So it's like this person's focused very straight ahead. Something within them has come alive, their own power, their own confidence, their own drive, what they want for themselves. They're starting to realize that them asking for basic respect from people, to be basically seen, to be handled with care, especially by those in leadership positions, is not them. It's not the same as them being what they saw in other people. They're not at risk of that by just saying, I deserve the same as everybody else. This is a person who like always go last in line, and feels like if they don't always go last in line, then, the day that they don't do that, these like nasty strategic people will be like, oh, like you're really pushing to the front of the line. Like this person has been like, I'm hearing the word like mind effed, like by somebody in their past that was trying to control them and trying to control the way they felt about themselves and trying to diminish them. And so this is a repeat pattern. So this person is kind of a bit of a canary in the coal mine, where they can detect this like rat energy, this hypocrite energy, or somebody who's trying to play weird power games. They can pick on it very clearly. And I think this person looks out and they're like, how do other people not see this? Like that's something they get angry. That's might have been the anger that burst them, is they look out and they're like, this is obvious. This is apparent. So they believe that other people who align with these energies, who are hypocrites themselves, which we're all hypocrites to some degree, right? That's the work, right? Is like doing the shadow work. And this person is very in touch with their shadow. But this person, they feel that those people are complicit. They think that it's obvious to them what's going on, so that their mistreatment or it's obvious to everybody that's going on, and it's just allowed to happen because somebody here has gnarly values, bad intentions, and is not fit for leadership. That's really, I think, what's gone on here is they've made some type of a judgment call here in your situation, and they won't give you anything. And I mean it, they won't. They're not. This is a person who is protective. They're blocked off because they've noticed things. And this is also a person who will catch you in a lie 4 or 5 times and not say anything. Because I'm hearing like the Hawthorne effect. When someone realizes that they're being observed, and especially like observed in a certain way, they change their behavior. It's like a law of psychology. If psychology has, it's a soft science, so as close as it can get to a law. That's something that's been observed, right? The Hawthorne effect. This person doesn't want people to know that they're kind of onto them and that they see more than they realize. It's a strength. This is how this person kind of leverages their own strength. And so they'll like catch little whiffs of like hypocrisy. I say, especially when it comes to Aquarian values, I value the group, I value equality, but the life I've built for myself says I actually value being the king. And I use these things, you know what I mean? This person picks up on that very keenly. They will just kind of like note it to themselves. And then once they've established a pattern, but I'm hearing 5. There's been like 5 or 6 things. 4 or 5, 6 things here in this situation. And it's really graded on them. It's really graded on them. I'm hearing the word hypocrite. But yeah, so they're determined now. This person is faced straight ahead. They are coming out of their shell. This person is protective of their heart space. So I feel like this person's starting to make their moves in the world. Or they're getting ready to. Either they've started this or they're getting ready to. They're getting ready to like come out from behind their own mask. And I'm hearing like the levels of persona, because it's not, we all have a mask that we show the world. You have to have that to navigate. This person understands that. But there's something about actions being connected with values and what it says about a person, and like repeated actions, like in how somebody's built their life, or I don't know, something here like that. But yeah, so this person is getting ready to kind of like pop out of their shell, to go after what it is that they want. They're single-minded. I feel like they are like horse blinders. Like there's something about like their periphery and on the sides, this person is just like going towards whatever it is. They are driven. They are connecting with their self-esteem. They're rebuilding that, and they have a lot of ideas. There's something about like connecting with their own self-esteem and their self-worth and their own self-protective mechanisms of like, no, we don't get treated like that. It's just not happening. That's actually lit up this person's brain, their creativity, their flow of creativity, but it's like skipping their solar plexus in their heart. So this person is like kind of, they're still protecting themselves. They're still kind of like guarding themselves here for the time being, but I'm hearing like they're lit from within. This person is getting ready to make some like very, very strong moves here in the world. And they want you, I think this person just kind of wants you to know how they operate. I think that this person has noticed something in you that is untoward, and they are kind, and they do not want to say it to you directly. They don't want to say, I'm hearing, I know what you are. I know what you're doing. I know what you want. And I see it very clearly. And I want you to know, but I don't want to say it, but I want you to know how I am in the world. That's what this person is, like how I operate, so that this person almost just kind of wants you to reflect. Spirit wants you to reflect. Like in regards of this person, it's like them not telling you specifically the things that they noticed in you that bother them and that like act like a splinter in their psyche that really rubs them the wrong way. Them not telling you specifically what it is means that you can't get in a combative space with them. They are aware. They're used to dealing with like competitive, argumentative people. And I'm not saying that you are that, but it's like even within your own mind, like it quells that response of like, if I give you a specific instance or a specific thing you said, your natural inclination, or this person might feel that way about you, your natural inclination would be to debate, to, well, no, I didn't, to knock it down. And you did this and you did that. This person's not interested in having that level of literally that vibrational level of a conversation with anyone. That's not even like a you thing or anything. They just don't want to interact on that level. Instead, it's an invitation. Spirits kind of move this person in your path, I think, as an invitation for you to reflect upon your own behavior. Because I think you understand that this person is not crazy, is the way that it's coming about. They're actually very intelligent. They're broadly intelligent, with a depth, and they have a very pleasant way that they communicate things, and they're always fair, is what I'm hearing. This would be something that is obvious about this person. So you kind of have to take this energy seriously, I think, if you see it clearly. And this person knows that. On some level, they've always known that about themselves, that the people they want to be around can see them and treat them like what they are. They know when they're being seen because of how people respond to them, that kind of a thing. So this has been kind of like a bit of a heavy sort of a pile. But this person feels for some reason they need to protect themselves against you. And against, they've put themselves at a distance from you. There's coldness. There's like a freezing out. And I'm just noticing like kind of all of these spikes, and things like that. I think you might be watching this person. You could be on this person's social media, or maybe you're asking their friends, or, obviously you're here at this reading, but I think that you are trying to understand. What Spirit wants you to know is like, this person's not going to give you much. It's not in their nature to. And like they're going to be very kind of flat with you, and strategic in the sense of maintaining their own emotional integrity. This person's not going to get emotional with you. It's not their style, and they're emotional with like two people in their life, I'm hearing. And I'm hearing it's their partner and their mama, if their mom wasn't, it's like somebody like that. For some of these people, it was their mom that was the one who really hurt them, that's a possibility. Or it was, a partnership in their past or something here like that. But they don't open up. They're pleasant. Like that's the thing. They're pleasant. They show respect. They are fair. They are polite. They equal give and take. They show up in those situations, but like their own like intimacy, they don't. And this person, they turn a lot of people down sexually. This is a very sexually selective person as well. So what this person wants more than anything is freedom, liberty. They're very different. They want the freedom to be different. So they would be very aware of any thing that tries to kind of like undermine that. They kind of watch that. They're very aware of it. They won't say it to you though, but they pick up on little things like that. This person is determined. They are determined to move forward and to leave this old patterning behind. They recognize that they have certain strengths. They have things that they like about themselves and that they feel like they need. Okay, I'm hearing the song Sweet Nothings by Taylor Swift. That's this person's song. It's new. It's beautiful. I don't really know a lot of the words, but it's like, all you ever wanted from me was sweet nothing. Out there, everyone's pushing, shoving. You're in the kitchen humming. All you ever wanted from me was sweet nothing. And I'm really hearing that part at the end where she gets really small in her voice and she's like, to you I can admit that I'm just too soft for all of it. Like, this person's a softie. They don't want to have to play games. They don't want to have to fight or compete, or anything like that. This person on some level thinks that if you have to fight and compete for the top spot, you're unworthy of it by default, so they won't do it. But they kind of feel like they don't want to get involved. They don't want to sully themselves or sully their soul. This person is full of loving kindness. They don't act from a selfish affection kind of a way. And I think this person has fallen prey in the past to being convinced that them just protecting themselves and feeling like they have a right to set their own boundaries and decide who they want to open up to and who they don't, that somehow that's them being selfish instead of just taking up the mantle of being an individual person who has every right to say what they like and what they don't. And I'm hearing in bed and in life. So I think there's been some type of people want to control this person's sexuality or something like that, or want to dominate them. But this person, they definitely do not have ill will towards anyone, and they definitely do not have selfish affection. And I'm really getting that this person, there's something about them, because they're such a pure marker of loving kindness, genuine loving kindness. They're very aware of when it's tipping in another direction. They're very sensitive. They're like a canary in the coal mine here. But this person is very in touch with their shadow. They're very in touch with their shadow. And that gives them a type of power. And I feel like this person actually, Spirit is saying that Spirit sends this person into situations to show other people their own shadow. Other people who think that they have these values. If I try to get along with people, I try to be in relationships with people, I value my connections. I've Aquarian values, service, humanitarian values, liberty, freedom. I think I have these values. And then Spirit says, do you? Because here it is in living form. So how do you treat this person? And it's like something that they really do have to grapple with. So, let's just see. Oh my gosh, I feel like there is too much competition. This is overall in the world. I feel like there's too much competition. Cooperative values. This person really has cooperative values. They're scared to lean into the competition. This person is strong and they kind of want to compete, but they're scared to lean into it because there's some kind of archetype that they really do not have a lot of respect for, that they do not want to be. I feel you are unpredictable. Love doesn't feel like enough. Okay, so this person is loving, right? But there's some way it's disrespect that's coming through. I love you. God bless you on your way. All of that is coming through. That love isn't enough in the face of some type of way that this person was being treated, or in a hyper competitive environment here where people are expected, in that song, outside they're pushing, shoving, you're in the kitchen humming, all you ever wanted from me was sweet nothing. So this person, they just feel like they're a very cooperative soul. They want to be around other cooperative souls. Otherwise, they get dominated. Anyways, that's what I'm getting for you guys. Pile number 1. If that resonated, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Hi, it's me, Jess from the future, and I'm editing this video, and I'm just kind of popping in and out to say certain things that I feel like I didn't exactly make clear enough. And the one thing I really, really wanted to make clear, at the beginning of this video before you got into like the whole rest of the message is that there's been a change or a transformation in the way this person is viewing you and synthesizing the situation and synthesizing their own behavior. I feel like this message that I'm about to like kind of go into for you, it's coming off more as like an accounting of their behavior. They want to explain who they are and why they are the way that they are, what their values are. I feel like this person can be kind of brash, you know, or they can come off brash in a social capacity because they're kind of single-minded and going after their goals and things. But this person actually is starting to change and transform and look at that part of themselves and look at themselves a little bit differently. And I feel like not only is this like everything that I'm kind of like saying in as their message, what they want you to know in this reading, not only is it coming off as kind of, like I said, an accounting of their behavior, it's coming off as kind of an apology. And this person really has also changed the way that they are seeing you. And I say that at the very end, but just in case people don't kind of like come to that, like this person is explaining how they were in the past, but I feel like there's a real attraction and an interest and a curiosity here with your energy that wasn't there before because of how like this person was, you know, kind of had their head up their own backside for a while, you know? So they're seeing you kind of in a new light. There is an attraction. There's an interest. Like I said, there's a curiosity. There's a passion to maybe even get in on something here that you are working on that has like pulled your attention here in some way. And there's a real sense of, you know, Saturn and Jupiter for me, they do combine in Cancer. You've got Saturn ruling over Pusha at the beginning of Cancer, and then Jupiter exalts there. So I feel like this person, even though you're very different and you approach things very differently, this person's realizing you kind of fit perfectly into their life, into maybe Cancerian things. You may actually have synastry in regards to Cancerian things, and then you might even have you know, maybe there's some Aries placements or something like that where there could be like some squaring that is involved. So there's different aspects of self that are squaring with certain things that this person would want to make clear, like kind of they were blinded to the similarities between you because they were so, this is somebody, you know, Jupiter and fire that's very self-driven, self-motivated, self-focused. And it did make them, as you know, the shadow side fire traits kind of can do for people. It's like, it did make them come off arrogant and self-centered and just not really delicate or paying attention. They want you to know they don't mean anything by it, and they didn't want you to feel ever like less than or anything, even if that's the way that they came off. So I don't feel like I did the best job of describing them in that way, but I do feel like with this Cancer energy of maybe a family or this like certain environment that you come together, and if it's a workplace, maybe it feels like, you know, maybe it's a smaller workplace where it feels like a close, tight-knit family, or there's like a smaller team that you guys are a part of or something like that. There's something like kind of maybe cozy or intimate here about this space where this person's realizing you're kind of the secret ingredient. You're kind of like something that they're missing that is maybe even the backbone of whatever it is that they are doing, like a big part of their, and they you know, a big part of their, like their drive and their goals and their mission in life. I think it centers around this Cancerian thing. This person wants to have some kind of traditional setup or something that feels intimate and family oriented, but they're realizing you're kind of the skeleton, you know, that they can build upon this energy here that you have, this diligence, and they respect that and admire that, and they feel like they overlooked it in the past. So with that being said, enjoy the rest of the reading. Bye, guys. All right, so pile number 2, give me just a second here because I'm picturing other images from cards from this deck in my mind, and I just want to pull those out so I can get them kind of like how I'm seeing them. That way I can just like kind of go off the images and I don't have to keep accessing my mind because it's a lot of information to keep track of. And I feel like for some of you, that is a message here from this person. They want you to understand how their brain works and how their mind works and why you might have certain experiences here around them, because this person does have a very big, broad mind. There's a lot of information that's rolling around in there. And also this person is very creative. They have a lot of different creative ideas and creative projects and honestly like just fantasies, creative fantasies and things like that they love to kind of think about in their mind, daydream about, and project out into the future. And whenever they do that, it's like they think about what abundance those projects are going to bring them, what glory, what praise, what adoration, how they're going to be like the top of everything. And, Everything's going to be just wonderful. And so this person actually does struggle to be in the moment, but they will work really, really hard. And I'm getting like a 20-year period here. So I just want to put that here to the side. It's like this person is motivated to do the routine, mundane stuff and to work really hard at a job or something in order to achieve something really, really big here in their career space. And why I'm saying like I want to hold on to this 20-year period, because actually even when I say it to this person, they're like, try 18 years. Like I think this person's very competitive, but I think this person had like a 20-year plan where they planned to retire, you know, in 20 years from when they started working or something. This would be a person who's like, I'm going to retire by 40 or I'm going to retire by 45, you know, something here like that. And so they're very motivated to work like very, very hard here within this certain time frame. And I think for a lot of you, you were around this person within that time frame. And so when you were around them, they weren't really seeing you. I mean, we'll talk about how they were relating to your energy here in a second, but it's like they were looking over your head towards this. And they're very future focused. They're never quite grounded in the moment. There's always something here that they're trying to get to next, something creative, something here like that. And so that's kind of the experience they had whenever they were around you, is like they weren't dealing with their responsibilities. They weren't dealing with anything that was routine or mundane or repetitive or necessary or restricting here on themselves. And so things kind of might have gotten lost in the shuffle. Now, currently, this person is actually going through a very, very difficult time. I'm hearing Camelot has gone up in flames, because I'm picturing this person kind of like with their hair on fire, and I'm hearing like liar, liar. Oh, I guess it's pants on fire. But still, like this person might have told lies or fallen for a liar. And again, this person would have fallen for some kind of lies and not seen this like very competitive, because there's competitive energy all around this person. It's a volatile situation. This person synthesizes this as Uranus energy, though. Like this just came in out of nowhere. It was a one-off situation. But I'm picturing like, you know, it's like somebody's smelling gas, because Jupiter's a gas planet, right? So it's like, and a professional comes in and they're like, why do you have your candle like right next to this thing that's like producing gas? And you're like, and this person is like, because I'm forever 14, and this person's like, well, you're grown now, so you might want to move the candle away from this. This was always kind of like a volatile, dangerous kind of a situation here. But this person, when something did pop off, you know, when something did catch fire here, they weren't aware that this is, it was bound to happen. Like, you know, this is like this situation that they kind of have set up for themselves. And part of it is because they don't pay attention to the details. Maybe they don't do regular maintenance. Like, that's the kind of what it's coming down to. They don't like to get bogged down into like the mundanities of things or something. So things just kind of, there's hazards. I'm hearing there's like just hazards around, like where things can kind of go wrong. I think I mean that in a metaphorical sense, but I don't know. Maybe this person's like that. They're always kind of up in their mind. They're not dealing kind of like in reality. So this person is currently, Spirit wants you to understand that they're currently undergoing their own divine judgment. This was always a time period that was planned out here for this person. There's kind of like a checkpoint where once this person had done all of these things, then Spirit could come in then, and this would be like kind of a judgment moment. If they had, this person, I'm hearing they were supposed to build a sanctuary of some kind. They were supposed to build a place, and I'm picturing somebody building a candle. And a candle, of course, carries a flame. Like, you know, be careful with your candles, but the wax makes it so that that flame can burn pretty safely, you know, and burn for like 40 hours rather than lighting the whole place on fire. You know, it's fire. You still have to respect it and like, you know, so this person was supposed to be building something here like that. So there was always an acolyte that was going to bring the light in. You know, when you're at a church service and they come in with the light, the acolyte was always on some kind of scheduled time to come in. And either I'm hearing they were going to have built their own funeral pyre, or they were going to have this candle built with some sort of like precisional skill or something like that. But this person was not tending to the space. So during this time of judgment now, like, something here has really, really popped off in this person's life. So Spirit wants you to understand this, because maybe some of you think that there was no justice, or that this person you were really deeply hurt in this situation and that there's no accountability because this person who hurt you they don't have a realistic image of themselves. We'll talk about that here in just a second. And they also do not take personal accountability. So it's like if it was just up to this person to kind of come to grips with who and what they are and the impact that they had on you and probably I think many others over the course of their life, they couldn't do it because they're stuck in this like very juvenile mindset. So they kind of needed this tower moment is what I'm getting. If they didn't need it, it wouldn't have happened. Like that's kind of how spirit is coming through. And the reason I'm saying all of this is because I've been working on another reading here for the channel. It's channeled messages, and I've channeled all the messages. So look for that reading. It's coming soon. But the third one that I channeled, I actually had to put it down because it was so heavy, and I actually struggled with that reading. It was so intense and very matter of fact, and I was like, it made me doubt the reading. But basically the start of it was like, you are now entering a time of your own judgment, and you would know that because things are going wrong or this isn't your reading. The reason I'm telling you this now is because I think that's the energy for this person that you're asking about. So in the next reading, you might not be drawn to pile number 3 because it's not your own energy. But if you do feel like you were calling for some kind of divine justice here in this situation or that you've been deeply hurt, then Spirit is just saying like that is occurring, that is happening, and you're being made aware that it wasn't okay the way that you were treated. And that's not something that just is going to be like, you're just expected to kind of bear the brunt of this person's life, you know? Okay, so this person, let's talk about their energy here. So this is a very, very competitive person, and they have a lot of like grand visions here for themselves. They want to be seen and they love to be seen as somebody who is inspirational, as somebody who is motivational here for people. And they're also a very action-oriented person. Like this is kind of like they have firefighter energy, but this person has a bit of a hero complex. Not a bit of one. They have a hero complex. They fancy themselves a hero. So their persona, the conscious image that they have of themselves is Herculean in some ways. Like that's the image that I'm getting, Hercules, which, you know, Hercules fell from Mount Olympus. So he's kind of like, he has divine blood kind of like within him, right? And he has this like otherworldly strength here in some arena, and he is a protector, and he's meant to protect the people through slaying dragons and to do these like big heroic feats that regular mere mortals could not possibly like fathom of doing. This person has this image of themselves here in some way, shape, or form, and the word hubris is like really, really coming through. It's a type of arrogance. It is a type of hubris, and it's also an incorrect version of themselves. Not that this person I can see that this person has a lot of strengths. Like they could have a lot of knowledge. They're very well-rounded or something. I feel like they do have some type of blessings, but they failed the Jupiter test here because if you guys watch my channel, we talk about Jupiter. Jupiter is like, it's considered a priestly energy as a metaphor. So, and try to unpoliticize this here, like for yourself. Like, I'm just talking about the concept of something so that we can kind of get the message right. I'm not making like political statements or anything like that. But, a priest back in the day, like they were learned when other people, like a lot of people didn't know how to read. So they had knowledge, and they were given like blessings and abundance, but they were, they collected the alms and stuff in theory. Well, this is the mantle that they were supposed to live up to, right? Collecting the alms and stuff, amassing certain like resources, but then they were trusted to know that was not theirs, that they were supposed to like give this out in terms of like ways that reflected the divine, ways that were charitable, ways that were beneficial to all. But this person has gotten it twisted in their mind, and they cannot grasp this here for themselves. They really, really cannot. I'm hearing they just can't see themselves clearly at all because arrogance equates to a type of blindness, and that's kind of like what this person has. So they can't see this here in themselves because the shadow aspect of self, which is still a very real part of self, right? But their shadow traits, the side of themselves that they do not want to see, is that in fact they're not Hercules in a lot of situations. They're Hades, but they're coming across to me as pre-Hades, right? And I'm getting that because, again, I keep seeing this person's hair on fire. And in that movie Hercules, Hades has his hair on fire, but it's like this person's hair wasn't on fire necessarily yet, but they're on that path. They're building up those habits and those traits within themselves. And Hades in that movie and in that myth is trying to overtake Mount Olympus. for his own self-aggrandizement, for his own rule, for his own power, for his own leadership. And he rules over the underworld, which is associated with buried treasure and gems and other people's wealth. It's like it's really like ungodly amounts of wealth that is associated there with that. Hades, is wealthy. Money and treasures and stuff, they're just not a thing to him. But he also has the invisibility helmet. So this person's shadow side, they want to keep this aspect of themselves quiet. They want to keep it hidden, almost even from themselves. And what I mean by that is this person is very competitive, very, very competitive. And they are this image of themselves as being heroic. The way that this is coming across is like, that phrase, to a hammer, everything is a nail. So to a hero, everything is a dragon that needs to be slayed. When in reality, not everything is a dragon, right? There's a lot of nuances here to things. And so true heroes and true leaders and things like that, they are able to deal in that nuance, right? They cannot be in the energy of to a hammer, everything is a nail, without causing dramas and a lot of chaos. Now, this person's competitive nature and wanting to be seen in this hero energy so badly, like I keep getting this, it's very juvenile. It's coming across very, I'm 14 and I'm a man, and I want to be a man so bad, and my hormones are raging, and I want to just save the damsel in the tower, like repeatedly over and over and over again, because of the image it gives them here about themselves. So everything that they do in terms of leadership, they do for the praise, they do for the glory, right? And so this person in the past has been a fire starter. They've caused problems where there are none. They've competed where they should not have. This person is also prone to impulse, so they could start fights or arguments. But this has I'm picturing someone kind of Jupiter's excess, so like drunk at a bar. That Ron White bit, right? I was drunk in a bar. You threw me into public, right? No, but somebody just says the wrong thing, and this is reminding me of a scene in my own life, because I was out on this date with this guy one time, and I was playing this card game, and the guy next to me won the hand or whatever, and then he made some kind of joke, but he won the hand. We were all just having a good time, it was a game, we're all being competitive, and the guy that I went there with flipped into a rage, and it was honestly unsettling, and it scared me and everyone else, and I had to be listen, this guy's he was joking, he doesn't actually mean eat my dust. He won the hand. We're playing around here. It's this kind of energy where it's somebody could just pop off at a bar and then start a fight but think that they were saving someone, or rescuing somebody and thinking that's acceptable. This also could be competitive sexual situations is what I'm hearing. So trying to steal somebody else's person, being drawn in if they can fight and compete and steal with somebody else's, person or something like that, or compete with somebody else for somebody else's attention, third-party situations, something here like that. They're very prone to these kind of situations, which are unheroic by their design. But this person, because to the hammer, everything is a nail, they rewrite the history in their mind, saying they were asking for it, they were starting with me, this is my divine soulmate, I got to blow up that, situation, and it's divine because I'm Hercules, It's these kind of situations where they do not hold themselves accountable, and all that just gets shoved down into their own 8th house, where they've actually created competitive situations to reinforce this rescuer, heroic, type of an image here that they have for themselves. Now, the other thing, this is why I keep saying this person's very juvenile. I think they're very young soul. They have kind of fool energy that's coming through, is because they want to be seen as a leader, a teacher, a guide, somebody with wisdom here so badly. They do not understand how that is in conflict with this dragon slaying, firefighting energy, right? They don't go together because this person's good at slaying dragons. So whenever there's a problem or something that they have to swoop in and whatever, they like this energy because the crowd goes wild. They get interviewed on the news. They get all the prizes and the trophies and all of the monies and things like that. They love that. That's what they really, really want for themselves. It's a very selfish energy, right? But at some point, if you're going to step up and be the leader, then you need to start maturing. You need to start asking yourselves different questions. And and when I worked with kids, they said, you never want to stay in that firefighter energy. You always want to move to teacher. And I feel like that's what this person's being asked to do. A teacher is we need to talk about why these fires are happening so that you can become aware of it in yourself and do better next time so it doesn't keep happening. This is a person where at some point you have to start saying, why are all these dragons coming in here? Is somebody leaving the meat out at night? Do we need to have like better protocols? Do we need to build a meat cellar? Like what is going on? Where do the dragons live? Do they live just right over here? Because we have to consider that it may be foolish to build our settlement and keep it here long term if we're right around the corner from a dragon's nest. Somebody has to make those difficult decisions. This person does not want to make those decisions because it takes away their fire, their dragon slaying abilities, which for this person, there's a real fear that if that in a peaceful town, a peaceful situation, they don't have a job. So this is a person who will throw a town under the bus, metaphorically, to have a job and to get the praise. Okay. Now here's where I want to say, like, if the king is good, as a metaphor, if the leader is good, let's say, there is peace over the land. It's not dramatic. It's not exciting. There is, there might be things that go wrong here and there, but there's not always this enemy to be vanquished where everybody's children have to get drafted into the army and all the resources that should be going towards like making the town great and robust. Like, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to keep going towards like these like, like energies. So I'm hearing like, this is what this person doesn't understand about real leaders. And you have this leadership energy, is that true leaders, they are planners, right? Saturn, which I think you have this energy, and you guys actually might resonate with pound number 1. Saturn, like a favorite pastime, is they like to think a lot about systems and rules and what kind of systems go best in what kind of scenarios. And they're very egalitarian, healthy Saturn dominant people. What kind of protocols and repetitive actions. And agriculture is a good example of this. Like, how can we, get food on a regular basis to feed the town? This is something that a person like you would think about, and a true leader would have to think about, right? So real leadership is entirely unglamorous. It's very, very unglamorous. And a lot of times you only know that you've had a really, really good leader installed by their absence, because everything was peaceful and calm. And then all of a sudden it just rocks off because they just weren't able to kind of fill those shoes, right? Where the problems are thought through. There's, things put in place. Like I said, this person, they don't have that kind of image here of themselves. So they're not planning ahead of time. This person does not pay attention to the details. They do not tend like the routines of things. They're just kind of flying by the seat of their pants. And this is something that they want praised for. They want admired for. They want to be that kind of like exciting, dynamic, sexy, kind of a leader. And that's not what leadership energy here is about. Now, the other thing that I'm getting here in regard to this person's like, there was some type of a soul contract here. And what is coming through is this soul contract had to do with you, but it wasn't just with you. It was on behalf of the divine, right? So I feel like you were meant to come here, and this person was meant to give you something, knowledge, resources, abundance here of some kind, protection. The weight of them should have like kind of kept you protected, as well as many others. I want to talk about that here in just a second, but this did not really happen here because this person, there's some type of place. Now, maybe it's a family here with Cancer energy, but I'm more getting that this was a place here that this person was meant to be steward of. Now, the thing is, this person's very antsy. I feel like they're always trying to like move and travel and be exciting, right? There's nothing wrong with those energies, but Jupiter is the gas giant of our solar system, right? Through its gravity and through its place, through it holding and owning and mastering its place in our solar system, it sucks in the asteroids and the threats that want to come in and destroy things in the inner solar system. So this person very naturally would actually be in that heroic energy and would be accomplishing their soul mission by just staying tried and true and just owning their own space here and being in the moment, all things that you are very good at. And I think through them providing you these things well and in good faith. And in this, Jupiter is unselfish. It's healthy. Jupiter is not acting on their own behalf for their own self-aggrandizement. Worship me, I'm the best leader that there ever was. Tell me that I'm amazing. Even Jupiter is of service, like even if none of that's happening, right? And so by you being around, they would have gotten to watch you be diligent, do the repetitive things here in the past, and they could have learned from you because this is part of what their soul needs in order to mature. Saturn is a very mature energy, and Saturn gives the best results. And I feel like this could be what they're watching in you here now, because this person's starting to realize that I'm hearing they don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. They don't know true value. They didn't know true value when they saw it, because when they were around you in the past, they were kind of looking over your head. That might be like a thing about a height difference or a position difference. There definitely was. This person has like professional energy or teacher energy or leadership. I sit at the front of the pack energy, right? And they may pay lip service to certain other ideals, but ultimately that's what motivates them. And you would feel that. But and others feel that as well, is something that a lot of you need to hear and understand. But when they saw you, I think they thought that you were ordinary. I'm hearing nothing special. The way that they think about you now has completely and utterly shifted to reflect reality, is what I'm getting. But in the past, I think there's something, you might work like a regular 9-to-5 job. There's something about you where you have a lot of responsibilities or a lot of routines, where this person's always fantasizing about delusions of grandeur and I'm going to accomplish this great thing. This person, I kind of want to say, on a fundamental level, they don't understand basic goals, because you have like longer term goals and then you break them down to smaller term goals. And this is what you do, I think, quite naturally. Like, you're not, nobody, I had to learn this in a class. Nobody ever, it's never just one step to like a big goal that you have. It always just feels like you're in the mundanity of it. You do this well, and it keeps you humble. I'm hearing that book, The Good Earth. The whole point of that book is to stay close to the earth, to stay grounded, to stay in actually doing things, because you will accomplish much, but it will also keep you well and blessed and healthy and, all of that stuff. So, in the past, this person thought that you were chained to something, that you, like maybe to this routine, maybe to your responsibilities. They could have thought that you didn't have much money, or that you didn't have much creative ideas, or, I don't know, something here like that. And they overlooked you, in some regard, they overlooked you. In favor of these like very volatile creative energies around. This, to me, in this person's relationship life, this is, I think they would have many relationships here like this, but certainly their primary relationships, because this is very much like a narcissist borderline pairing, where you've got a narcissist here who's really full of themselves. And I'm not diagnosing anyone. I'm saying this is how the energy is coming across. This person is full of themselves. They think they're like, it's all about them instead of what it is that they're meant to give. And that they're not focused on that. They're focused in the future and accomplishing their own greatness. And it's big. Whatever it is, it's big. And we'll talk about that here in just a second. But, that's what I mean. And this person will be drawn to people who are fire starters, who are never satisfied. And eventually that is going to be, I'm hearing, you play with fire, you get burned. So, and I think there's several people. This is a climate around this person. It's a social climate here around this person. And it's reminding me of some of the readings that I've done in the past, where it's like having this as a value has drawn in certain like primary Venusian relationships. And then through those primary relationships, they meet other people. So this is just kind of the gift that keeps on giving. The fire just kind of keeps on spreading. And then you get an adult that comes in and says, you've got a gas leak and a bunch of candles just lit around here. What are you thinking? And this person's like, I was just being 14, And they're like, it's not cute. You should grow yourself up a little bit, Like, this isn't, we're in your head and you need to be in your practical reality here. But this person, they kind of like juke and maneuver here around. Now, another thing that's coming through, I'm hearing what part of your memory is selective and tends to forget. What with this distance, it seems so obvious. That's from Alanis Morissette, Hands Clean. This person thinks that they have clean hands. They do not. And I think in regards to you, they tell themselves that they are blameless and that they were heroic and that they were la la la. Like, you know what I mean? And so part of that's like, part of your memory is selective and tends to forget. That's a part of this, like, Hercules, really, they're Hades. So all of this is getting shoved down into the shadow self. They cannot honestly reflect about themselves. And it is because, and the way that they like reflect, and the way that this energy affects other people, this competitive, I'm hearing nonsense. This person spews nonsense, I think, and spreads nonsense. And they want to compete with people. And that, just the energy of that will affect people. But again, this is not a leader. They do not take responsibility for the energy that they set for like the group or the tone. Now, what I was saying is like, there's something here about a 20-year plan that this person has in order to, in terms of their like achievement, which is dangerous because we've got Jupiter here. Jupiter, this is a Jupiter lesson, is you're given blessings in abundance. You are not to get it twisted. They belong to the divine and they are to be allocated as such. This person is using it very selfishly, which will be their downfall. If things are going wrong for them, that's why. But they won't take responsibility. They think it's a fluke. They think it's a one-off because this person lacks in wisdom. So anyways, so this person had some kind of 20-year plan and they were willing to kind of like work for it. Maybe this person has gotten some kind of higher education or, you know, they've amassed some kind of knowledge or training or skills or something here like that. But it's like this person thinks that they're going to retire by the age of 40 or by the age of 45, or they want to make some kind of breakthrough discovery or contribution in their field that they imagine getting accolades for and like getting praised for or things like that. This is a person who's like, I will win the Nobel Prize, you know, or I will write this like groundbreaking book or something here like that. But they want to be seen as somebody who has a wealth of good character and a wealth of money. They're just abundant in every way, and it's because of a wealth of good character, but it's false. They're selfish. And that's ultimately what went wrong here in their situation. And they did not steward whatever it was that they were meant to steward. And so there's been a divine judgment here on this person here currently. I do feel like there's, so like I was saying before though, this person has it completely changed and transformed. They would tell you that they've completely changed. I would be very wary of any rhetoric like that because I'm telling you, this person is full of themselves. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing this person like looking at themselves in the mirror and like touching themselves and like, you know, anything that they're attracted to, they like how it looks on them. Do you know what I mean? They don't like you for you. They don't like people, you know, they're very selfish. But they've completely changed the way that it is that they look at you. They think that you have undergone some kind of a transformation. This person is driving me nuts because they think things are slow, or I'm sorry, they think things that are, you are coming up as Saturn. You've been working at this, whatever results you're getting in your life. You've been working on this humbly and quietly and behind the scenes and diligently and blood, sweat, and tears, you know, like me personally, I have scars and stuff on my hands from like just like working on things. I'm picturing you like that, you know, you've just kind of been at it and, this and anything that you've built for yourself, it was not overnight, but this person, they think what happened to them was just out of the blue. And then they think what happened to you was just out of the blue because this person drives me nuts. Maybe they drive you a little bit nuts too. I think it could have been difficult to catch on to this person because they present themselves as a hero and respectable and things like that, but they are very attracted to you here now. You've stirred up this fire space. So they might feel that they have to compete for you, or that you are in need of saving, or that they definitely think that you're very sexy and that you have like something that they want. And it's triggered this fire space in them. They only pay attention when you trigger this space in them, but it's this that leads them into trouble. That's why I'm just warning you here. Yeah. You know, I just get the sense that this person, there's something here about you may well have incarnated for this person in some kind of regard. Like, I'm just thinking about the stories of Saturn and Jupiter. And then Saturn gets betrayed by Jupiter. Jupiter was supposed to be giving something here to Saturn and then didn't. Like, worked right to the very end. It could have been right at this person's 20-year plan of like whatever it was, and then everything just kind of fell. But it's because they didn't do on a soul level what they were supposed to do. So, yeah. I'm hearing I want you, but I shouldn't. Oh my gosh. I want you, but I shouldn't. You hurt my feelings. I miss being around you. That's what I mean. This person projects out that you're the one who hurt them. Like if you had to draw boundaries, because this person sees themselves as faultless and blameless in all situations. I would hate to fight with this person because it would be maddening. I am not ready. This person is not ready to make the changes that they need, but Spirit is saying, it's time. You've got to be ready. I'm emotionally unavailable. This person experiences fire emotions, competition, anger. I am seeking revenge. That's this competition. You fuel my creativity. That's this competition energy. Their revenge is in trying to compete with you, trying to outdo you. Hubris is really what I'm getting. Hubris. If I can't have you, nobody else can. That is the vibration of love this person has to offer you. Being emotionally unavailable because they're only focused outward. They're not present in the moment. They're very competitive. If you outdo them in some way, or if you try to hold them accountable, or if you reflect their shadow side to them, they hate you for it. They blame you for it. They're not trying to take responsibility for their shadow side. I'm hearing that phrase, correct a wise man and he will thank you. Correct a fool and he will hate you. This, I'm telling you, and again, there's the fool. Correct a fool and he will hate you. And this is a person who would try to make you feel dumb, try to make you feel stupid about it, and say that you need some help, and they're the one to help you. This is like rescuer, victim, persecutor to a T. This person thinks they're a rescuer, they're actually a persecutor, and they make victims around them, but they don't have that image of themselves, like, at all. So that's what I have for you guys. Pile number 2, that's what this person, I feel like this would come through like from their higher self, because this person is in a period of divine judgment. So one of the things that came through in the letter that I was channeling is that their higher self is we only judge ourselves. Like, you have a thing that you're supposed to accomplish here. The higher self determines whether or not you did or not. And then that's when like this divine judgment. So their higher self is heavily active here in their life, where they are, if this person is not, their higher self is actually is going through things right now. And if they're, I'm telling you, if Camelot is up in flames, their higher self did it because they were too far off their own path here. Yeah, so that's what I have for you guys. Pile number 2. I hope that resonated. That sounds like a really difficult situation. And I feel like you actually have all the qualities of a leader, but like true leaders often don't get praise. You know, this is a person that we were looking at where if a leader is being like reserved and they're like, we need more data, we need more time. Like, let's not jump to conclusions. Like, let's not make like split hair decisions or something like that. That is a person who would think, why isn't that leader doing anything? Instead of, what wisdom? To be measured. Somebody has to be measured. You know, it's the big daddy that needs to be kind of measured, and that needs to be trusted. They don't value that. They don't value that. That's not the kind of leader they value. They think that means somebody's being complacent. And that's the feminine side of things. It's like they don't value silence or pause, reflection, the exhale, So that's what I have for you guys. Pile number 2. If that resonated with you, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye, guys. All right, so pile number 3, what do they wish you knew? So right off the bat, I'm hearing it wasn't personal. And there's a lot to unpack there, especially because I'm getting a few different situations here. But before we go getting into this, I want to issue a trigger warning here for this pile, because I feel like there are some uncomfortable truths that need to come out here in this message, either about this person that you're asking about, or about this situation here overall, or about how this person is like viewing you in the situation. It might be really uncomfortable to hear. And there's actually a really strong message that's coming through, and it feels like literally from the spirit of tarot. Like, I'm hearing from Lady Tarot herself, and where this is a checkpoint. So tarot is saying you really do need to check in with yourself about this reading, but this feels bigger than that. This feels like overall in like whenever you are approaching the tarot, because tarot for me is like, it is a very feminine energy. It's a conversation, and tarot is all about like, tarot to me wants like a relationship with you. It is all about like a relating. And so tarot is coming in to kind of correct that relationship. And I feel like kind of prompt you and set some kind of boundaries, because tarot wants you to check in with yourself about this reading in particular, about all others as well, to make sure that when you step to the tarot and when you ask a question or when you want to know the answer to a question, that you are approaching in earnest. Meaning, like, when you ask the question, you really do want to know the truth. That is your objective when you approach the tarot. You want to know the truth. You want the honesty behind it, and not some fantasy or some pretty lies or something to soothe you or comfort you or make you feel better at the expense of the truth, because tarot is not comfortable with that, is what I'm getting. And I just want to actually, this is kind of surprising me as a message, so I just want to pull some cards here. Yeah, this is very interesting. So okay, so another thing is that oh, it wasn't personal. So tarot is saying this is like, it's not personal. Like when you're coming through to ask a question, I'm going to tell you the answer, and it's not like a personal thing in that regard. But what it's saying is, like, you know, the Queen of Wands is oftentimes like a witchy type person, somebody who could be a reader for sure. And I'm hearing K2. So it's headless. So the readers are like picking up on these messages. Now the Hierophant for me is about picking up on higher messages and listening to the voice of God. The Hierophant outranks the Emperor because the Emperor is beholden to government bodies and has to maintain order, and like in order to do that has to kind of pay attention to a lot on the material realm. But the Hierophant answers directly to spirit. And so tarot is saying some of you think that you have a problem with readers because of what they're saying, or that it's personal. But if for you to get angry at them, it's not synthesized like that on a spiritual realm. Tarot is saying you're actually like disrupting your relationship here with the tarot. And so there could be some kind of like, I'm picturing somebody throwing rocks into like a pond and it's kicking up like this dirty mud. And where tarot is like, your relationship isn't good with tarot, you know? So tarot is, oh my gosh, grieving. Yeah, like, and for some of you, tarot is saying there's some kind of strategy here on your part where you're using the tarot to try to strategize in a way that is actually not in alignment with your higher self and your higher spiritual values. And that's something that's corrupting the relationship, and the line between you needs to be like cleared out. So tarot is saying, can we start over? Can we have a new beginning? We need to have different boundaries here. You only enter this sacred space when you come in earnest and when you want the message to come through. Because it's not personal. I'm not trying to hurt you. You're asking a question. I'm trying to be honest. Okay. So, that was a message that I wasn't really, expecting here, but, okay. So if you need to pause in order to check in with yourself, now's the time to do it, because we're just going to start getting right here into these messages. So the first thing that I'm getting is, if you don't know this person very well and you're wondering whether this person has a crush on you, unfortunately, I feel like the answer here is no. And what this person wishes you knew is that this is their personality. This is very genuinely who they are. This is not a person who is like a player, or they're trying to give people the wrong impression just to break hearts all over the place. I feel like this person has a very natural warmth and charisma, vivaciousness, vibrancy to them. They're very naturally like engaging. This is a person who genuinely likes people and genuinely likes to connect with people. And this is just how they do it, whether they're talking with people in a group, whenever they're connecting with people one-on-one. And I feel like there is something very kinetic about the way this person speaks. Like it feels like really nice, I think, to talk with this person, because I'm seeing somebody who's either making eye contact with you, they're shaking their head up and down, their whole body is kind of talking with you, you know, they're gesturing with their hands. Everything is in alignment with itself and synchronous, like with how this person is like engaging with you, and it just really draws you in. And there's that very fluid, kinetic kind of passionate energy. This is a person who brings a type of like energy into the space. I'm getting like a strong fire vibe here from this person. And fire, of course, that's the energy of passion. So I think, you know, all of that like very, you know, fiery passion. It's almost, I'm picturing this person kind of shooting little sparks of fire like out of their fingers, and I'm watching their veins kind of alight like molten lava or something. It's just part of like this person's energy, and they don't mean anything by it. Now, I think that this person has been in situations in the past where they do understand that sometimes that energy does get misinterpreted for attraction. And I think that it's made them feel uncomfortable in the sense that this is not a person who likes to hurt people. They don't want to make people feel lesser than or rejected or not good enough. This is a person who likes to connect with people. And I feel like they're very empathetic and they're very naturally caring and engaging. And I think that this person's actually been in their head about this aspect of themselves before, where they were kind of thinking, you know, should I turn this off? Should I try to mute myself? Or like, even though this is who I very naturally am, should I try to change or something like that? So, so that this kind of a situation doesn't happen by accident. And maybe this person even tried it in the past, or just, again, fire is very authentic, very naturally themselves. And so either they tried it and it just didn't work, or they just really felt like they couldn't do it, because they just can't not be themselves. But yeah, I think this person was just like, this is just, it's genuinely who I am. The other thing I'm getting about this person is they may be in a relationship already. And like if this person is, I think it's a serious relationship. Like I feel like they would be married, or this would be a relationship where they are moved in together and they know each other's families and things like that. If that is the case here with this person, that is a happy relationship. It's a happy, very thriving, passionate. There's a lot of kinetic, exciting energy like there between the two of them. It's a very healthy, very thriving relationship. And I almost feel like for this person, because fire is very honest, right? It's like very kind of blunt, very honest, very upfront. I think for this person, like the fact that they're in a relationship, and I think it is genuinely like a passionate relationship, and I think people can see that they have a natural chemistry like between these two people. This person kind of thinks that they're freer to express themselves, in this way, and to actually connect with people on a platonic level, because they think it's obvious that they're not coming onto them, or that they're not, they're not trying to be weird or something, because they're already connected and happy in another relationship. So, but I do feel like if this person felt like they were picking up on flirty vibes, or they sensed that they were giving you the wrong impression, this person would pull back. So if this person has suddenly gone cold, or all of a sudden their demeanor has shifted or something, and you're wondering about that, it's because this person kind of recognizes this same old pattern of like, oh, I think this person was kind of getting the wrong impression or the wrong idea. That makes me uncomfortable. I don't want to make them uncomfortable. So my affect is going to go like, much flatter, or something like that around them, because they wouldn't want you to get the wrong idea. Now, another situation here that I'm picking up on, if there needed to be like a decision made here of any kind, depending on what your relationship here is with this person, and it's like, what do they wish that you knew about that? Again, what they would want you to know is that it wasn't personal. It was very fair. It was just a very cerebral decision. They like tallied up the statistics, the facts and the figures. If this was a business situation, I mean, it very much is like, unfortunately, you weren't the right candidate for the job, or, it's not emotional. This person's not about vengeance or anything like that. It wasn't personal. It was just like a very like cut and dry decision, like whatever that was. It was not emotional, right? All right, so another situation here that I'm picking up on is that a lot of you could be asking about a boss. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be your boss, although I think for a lot of you it is, but this is definitely a boss. This is somebody who has some level of supervisory or managerial duties or responsibilities within a workplace or within a workplace environment. And the type of workplace that I feel like you share with this person is actually really important and relevant to this situation, and in understanding this person and what they wish that you knew about them. I think really at the heart of this person, if you're asking about this boss supervisor type person, is they long to be understood. They long to be truly seen for the entire package that they are, because people miss aspects of them, and it's because they're this really good blend of being personable and charismatic and warm and inviting, and I think funny and witty, and like keeping people feeling like alive and on their toes and things like that, and creating that kind of an environment. But they're wicked smart, and I don't think that people understand how intelligent this person is, and just how much it contributes to them being very, very, very good at their job. Because this person has a very clear, very well-structured mind, and they understand systems. And this person's approach to management and approach to work is very systems oriented, very systems based. And we'll talk about that here in just a second. But part of understanding this person and what they wish you knew is understanding the type of work environment that you find yourself in here with this person. And I think you work with this person, or you have worked with this person. So the type of work environment that I'm getting is there is something very stable, routine, and structure about it. There is like an order to the madness. There's routines, there is systems and things to kind of help manage the chaos. But there is like some kind of kinetic energy. This is like a fast-paced work environment, or definitely a work environment where it can reach fever pitch like that, and it's expected to, often, regularly, regularly, here in this kind of a situation. It's reminding me of like restaurant work, where you have peak periods and holiday times and things like where you just sometimes you can get slammed, all those restaurant words, getting slammed, getting your butt kicked, like being in the weeds, right? Like all of that. Or this could be like an environment like a hospital, where again, you generally know what to expect. You know what it is that you do there. And everybody that works there is trained in these like different procedures, and you know what different inventory items and things that you need to keep and make sure that you have, and where it all needs to go in order to be able to do and fulfill your job. But the things that are coming at you in the moment, that's variable. How much of it, when things go wrong, when they go right, like who's on shift, when you're understaffed, all of those things like that stacks up differently in each and every moment. And so a good manager in that environment, and just a good employee in general, needs to be able to flex to that space. And you need a solid mind, like stick shift kind of like mind, in order to be able to do that. And this person has that in spades. This is a person you want managing your teams. This is a person that will quietly usher in an Elizabethan era, and people will not like really even realize it. And I think this person might actually get blamed for certain things or for being a certain way, because there's aspects of them that really catches people off guard. Now, what you need to understand here about this person is that they really like this kind of an environment. They like working in this kind of space, and they're good at it, and it makes them come alive, and it actually makes them feel at home. I don't know if this person's early home life was chaotic, or it's like you never knew when something was going to pop off, but this person is very good in that space. They feel comfortable there. And this is a person who very much values a work environment and a culture where people get along. They like each other. It's busy. There's a lot of conversations and big personalities, and everybody's different, and everybody's able to kind of mix and kind of razz each other a little bit. This person loves that, and they take genuine pride and love in curating and keeping that culture and that level of an environment. But this person is very pragmatic, and they aren't pie in the sky about it. And the way I want to describe this is like there's a workplace theory called like the motivation hygienes theory. And so what I mean by that is that this person understands for themselves and for other people that in order to truly have that kind of an environment where everybody's taken care of and warm towards each other and fun, and they're kind of getting along, is that you need to get the hygienes right. These are the big rocks. You need to understand what is foundational in the environment, and have systems in order to manage that, and systems like holding people accountable, and ways to know how to observe properly and correctly, to know if you're like on track for all of these things, right? Those are the hygienes. Hygienes are also people getting paid well, people having health insurance, people being treated well, right? Because those are the big rocks where if people don't have those, you can throw pizza parties at them and, throw confetti in their face as much as you want. It's probably just going to irritate them more if you're not taking good care of them. This person understands that. And so they understand that part of their role as a manager or as a supervisor is making sure that everything is running smoothly, and that you don't have people who are kind of like losing the priority of the moment, if that makes sense. And in order to I want to drive that point home, but in order to understand that, one thing you have to understand about this person, and I think one thing that they wish you knew and wish more people knew, and I think they wish more people were like this themselves, because this is like the type of person this person likes, is this person has a type of compartmentalization that goes on. And that's not even really the right word, because it's not like this person won't have work friends and things that become their genuine friends, or it's not such a hard fast rule here like that, but this person does compartmentalize, and you do need to understand that about them, and they wish you understood it. But it's coming across like focus modes on your phone, right? You know how you can set up certain focus modes for work, for sleep, for play, for travel, right? And so when you put your phone in work mode, there are certain apps that just naturally go away, so that you're not tempted to like get on Twitter and get sucked into a Twitter hole when you're supposed to be like working and doing your job, and your phone naturally goes to silent except for certain key people that can actually call through, right? And that helps them to be effective at work. And but when you put your phone in the recreation mode, then your work apps, your work email, it's not available, so you're not tempted to check your work email when you're at home, and that's when the Twitter app comes up, and that's when your music comes up, and YouTube and all of that stuff. This person's brain works like this, like in a very natural kind of way. So it's like the moment that they walk into work, they are naturally in work mode. And what this does for them, and kind of what this centers around, is the ability to know what is priority, what is key in any given moment and in any sphere of their life. And this person doesn't think that, I don't know if it's you specifically, but they kind of don't think people get that. And this is a person who truly, like, for them to really like somebody, and for them to, I'm hearing, fall in love with somebody, for them to want to be friends with somebody, like beyond this like kind of workplace scenario, you have to be kind of on the level with them in that regard, because if you're not, it kind of causes them anxiety. And that's what I was meaning before of this person understands that in order to be truly friendly with other people, you can't harbor resentment towards them. And in a work environment where these systems, like, because I think there's something about these systems that's very cyclical, right? If the night crew doesn't clean up well, the morning crew is going to have a much harder time, and they're probably not going to have warm feelings towards the night crew. That shouldn't surprise anybody. Like, in this person's mind, it's like, that is cut and dry. That's tale as old as time, and this person just gets that. And so they're very observant, and this is the person who will make the call. They will make difficult decisions. They will make difficult decisions overall for like pruning the environment. If there's somebody who's not contributing or they're making things difficult, they are not gonna, that's part of them tending here to this space and holding people accountable and saying like, the priority here is the job. We can definitely have fun and a good time. And I think that this is the type of person where it's like, if you trust this person, if you just follow the systems that they like put in place, I think that you naturally have more free time and you naturally have like, more fun with people, because there's not that like weird resentment of why am I always picking up your slack or something here like that. This person, like, they have that very pragmatic approach. And I think this is important to understand because this person comes off like, I think they have this warmth and this charisma and this wit and this charm. And this is like the type of boss where people want to engage with them. They want to be on the level with them. And they think that it's part of this like warm facade that this person kind of puts out. And it's not a facade. It's genuinely who this person is. But if you pay attention to this person, they're so socially adept that they're switching gears without people even like realizing it. And they look for this in other people. Again, to be around, to be their friends, to promote, to anything. Because they're this themselves, they very naturally pick up on who is this and who isn't. Because if you watch this person, they absolutely will demonstrate to you that they know there's a time and there's a place, for like, so the kind of like the situation that I'm getting is like, if you're working in a restaurant and you're the bartender and you're on duty, right? And maybe it's even kind of like a slow period, but it's your priority to tend the bar. That's what you're getting paid for. That's what you're there for. And this person is like the manager, and they're very observant and they're very helpful and they are always flexing in. They're exhausted. Okay. This is a person, just because they weren't around you, like that, this is part of what they wish people knew. Just because they weren't up at your bar helping you doesn't mean they were like not doing anything moments before. Like they were probably caught up in doing something, and then they like came into your life and your vision field and like whatever, but they're still tired. And, but they're still working, it's like that kind of a moment. So, again, like, I think that people are very drawn to like engaging with this person. They're happy to see this person. They want to be friends with this person, I think, genuinely. And so like, they might be having some kind of like friendly banter. And then if orders start coming in, and if you're the type of person where you want to be cool, and you're demonstrating that you don't understand your priorities to go tend that, it actually stresses this person out. They're in conflict. This is a person who, I think they're still engaging with you in conversation because, again, they value this like very warm kinetic environment. And if you're going to let it go on for too long, this is a person who will say something. And I think sometimes people get caught off guard by that of like, they had to correct me. And this person's like, yeah, you did that. You made me have to correct you because you couldn't, like, you didn't understand what your priority was. And that's something that I strongly dislike. Like, I'm hearing here from this person, I strongly dislike that. I need to know I can trust you in order for me to be able to have, like this friendly interaction. If roles were reversed, this person would be multitasking. I think they're very good at that. But yeah, it's something here like that. But this is a person who the whole time in their mind, they're in conflict of, they don't like it when you put them in conflict of doing their job and engaging with you on a charismatic level. This person feels like if you do your job, there's always time for us to engage on a charismatic level. And they like to be around people who know very much like when that time and when that place is. This also strikes me as a person who is not trying to get sloppy. They're not trying to dip their pen in company ink, you know what I'm saying, and make roles. This is a person who understands systems. They understand things need to be clear. And the more systems that you can have clear, the better. Especially in a kinetic work environment, you don't need to be going, who's doing this and who's doing that. If the manager is responsible for certain things and they're accountable for it, they're the ones doing it every single day. There's got to be certain things that like you don't have to flex on, so that this would be a work environment where there's plenty you're going to have to flex on, right? And that's what I'm saying is like, that's what makes this person you want this person running your company. You want this person doing it, but that's what I mean is like, this person's so successful at their job because of their intellect and because of their clear mind and because they're very observant and they can very clear they're good with systems. They can very clearly see when things are running and when they're on schedule and when they're not. And if they need to troubleshoot, they can do that on the fly. They're very good at their job. This person is. But if you just think that this person's charismatic or warm, or you're expecting them to be your friend because you don't understand the priority of the situation, and then you want to hold them, you want to say that they're being mean to you because they were not on the level of being your friend over being like making sure that the job gets done so that your company doesn't close down, and now you don't, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like this person just kind of wants that. I feel like I've actually been talking about this one here for a long time. It's very passionate in this person because they also don't think they think people attribute their success to the wrong things. They think that people look at them and they see somebody who is just a friendly front, like a friendly, warm person. They're wicked smart. So if you don't see that in this person, and that's like what I was saying at the beginning, it's not personal. Like, if this person has ever had to correct you or anyone else, or if they're bringing certain things to your attention, I would bet anything that it's systems focused. I bet if this person they are going to be very clear-minded about it. This is a person who will come to you with a bulleted list and say, here are my concerns. It's this, 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 and this, and this. And when you push them on it, they're going to say, well, usually by noon we accomplish this. And for a while now, we have been consistently finishing it at 12:30. That means either our expectations are off. If you've got a solid team in place, right, our expectations of this are off. We need to actually flex our expectations. And so we have a reasonable understanding of what's capable here, so we can actually hold people accountable and know what it is that we're capable of. You know what I mean? Or, we've had like so many new people that we're running behind schedule now. So we need a temporary kind of like new standard or new code or something. This person's very clear-minded about this kind of thing. And it's not personal. And this person is not, they're friendly, but they're not trying to be your friend over running a healthy, good work environment. And if you can get on that level with this person of that's what we're doing, we're here to work, you will come out with not just this person as a friend, you will have 15 friends for life because everybody loves and respects and can gel so well together. And it's like this person just does this very naturally and very behind the scenes. But I think they get a lot of pushback and I think they get a lot of flack because they're held to this like weird wishy-washy standard by people who don't actually understand the priority of the situation. And I'm not saying that's you. I'm like, this feels like blanket. This person just wishes people were different, that people had more like had more of a structured mind or something here in regards to that. So, and if you're wondering if this person is like the type of person to have a workplace affair or something like that, no. The answer is just no. Even if they think that you're attractive or something, this is like, they understand what it is that they're there to do. Now, if you quit your job and you stay in touch with this person and you'd have to show that you're competent. They want competence above all things. So I think that's another thing this person kind of secretly finds annoying is that if people think that they're flirting with them or something by being like charismatic and like the cool guy, but their work's not done and they're not smart and they're not showing a competence, this person finds like competence very sexy. And air. They're attracted to like this air energy in a big way. And if it's good, if you actually work well together in a work environment, I think actually that increases the odds that they are going to want to build something else with you, and that they would actually find you attractive. And when things are right, that they would actually pursue you in like a friendship sense. And I'm hearing those are the types of friends and stuff that they have for life. So it's kind of like a weird catch-22 with this person of like, if you meet them in a work environment, you will be friendly. And if you have this connection on level of competence and understanding what priority is, you will be best friends, even when you're working together. I just kind of naturally feel that, and you will hang out outside of work, but you will notice that this person's different, like with you in those arenas. And, but again, if you're going to kick it off to like romance or something, like I think once you're done working together or something, that this person would actually pursue you, because they would know what they have, and this is a quality in people that they feel is like very rare. So that's what I have for that circumstance. This is like such a weird reading. It's like very categorized, just kind of like these people I feel like that you guys are asking about. So, okay, so the last situation here, and this one is the one that I think is going to be most triggering. So I just want to give you that trigger warning, although if you're here and if this is your situation, you probably are already on to this, like, to some degree or another. But okay, so what this person wished that you knew. This is going to be a situation where, you could be married to this person. It's definitely more of a social kind of quality here with this person, where it's less of a work situation. It's hard to like really draw hard, fast lines here, but I'm what I'm seeing is like this is a situation where you've got this person here who's overlooking one of the other two piles. Okay, so either they're overlooking this leader type person of pile number 2 who has a lot of like goals and drives, and this is a person who has like a 20-year plan and they're trying to achieve, but they're not really paying attention in the moment, and they're not paying attention to curating a social situation or environment. So they've, I think, kind of unintentionally in pile number 2 created a very competitive environment around them. They weren't supposed to do that as a part of their spiritual mission. They were supposed to be Jupiter. So they were supposed to be charitable. They were supposed to be giving. They were supposed to be, to a certain degree, selfless. And so by the very nature of things turning competitive around them, what I'm getting is Spirit is saying that similar to how like we know this now, like through studies, that in corporate environments where it is very competitive and that's more of a masculine, like traditionally masculine arena, not that women aren't in there, the energy is very masculine, right? How like kind of psychopaths rise to the top of that because they're willing to do anything. They are ruthless. They are cutthroat to succeed. A similar thing happens in more feminine arenas of life, because there are people who will look at more feminine arenas like building relationships, like social environments, as a means to achieve in the world and to get themselves ahead. So there's people, not just women, but there are people who are similarly cutthroat in regards of pairing up with the right people. Doesn't even have to be a romantic situation. This could be like ingratiating yourself with your wealthy older aunt, and there's nothing you won't say or no scheme that is too low for you to try to get her to sign a document that changes her will or something. So similarly, when you create this competitive situation around you and you do not tend to like creating an equitable, fair social arena, and you make that your business, you kind of can fall prey to this type of a person here that we are picking up on here. And so when I say to you that this person has this, it wasn't personal air of it, it should have been. This is a situation where, what do you mean it wasn't personal? It absolutely, if it was healthy, it should have been. It would have been personal. You know, we were operating under the conditions where it was personal here with this person. And so this is the type of energy here. Now that's just if this person's overlooking pile number 2, but it could also be connected here with pile number 1, where all of a sudden this person has a little bit met their match. This could be somebody, I want to say this person's a narcissist, but I think it's worse than that. Obviously we're not diagnosing anyone. This person's giving me sociopath vibes, because there is a cool, calculated cruelty like here with this person, very like worm on a hook, and I don't think they come off that way. And I think that's, again, like part of this like carefully crafted persona. So part of what this person wants you to know is what they want you to know and nothing else. They don't want you to question their face, their facade, their carefully crafted image. They want you to know only what they tell you about themselves, and they don't want you to question it. They don't want you to observe. They don't want you to go poking around. They don't want you to follow your intuition. And with this type of a person, it would be your feelings and your intuition that would kind of tell you that something's off with them before your mind would kind of catch on to it. Because I think you want to believe them. And I think this person comes off maybe as similar to pile 1 or pile 2, but it's through observation. This is a person who has like kind of studied the way that people behave and what kind of gets people ahead in life. And this is a person who wants to milk feminine energy to get ahead in life, even if this is a man. So what I mean by that is like a type of sociability, creativity, beauty, harmony, elegance, those things that we kind of associated with the feminine sides of life. That's what this person wants to utilize to get themselves ahead in this environment. So if they're dealing with the pile, if you're, and I think you would be one of these two people, right? And if you're pile number 2, you may well be married to this person, or in some way you're giving them money or resources or something like that. So when they say it's not personal, it's like, you were holding my money. You were holding my bag. And I think a part of you would be, or you had something that they wanted, even if it wasn't money. It could have been sex, it could have been a position, it could have been associating with you, gave them some kind of cred or status, whatever it was. You had what they wanted, and they felt justified in putting on whatever song and dance and doing whatever it is that they had to do to achieve their final aim. And I think a lot of this was unethical, but the way what they want you to know is that it wasn't personal. It wasn't like, I think you were a target. This is like kind of weird doublespeak, because it's scary the way this person synthesizes themselves and their behaviors in the world, because it's not true that it's not personal, but they want you to know, like, if you didn't have what I wanted, I wouldn't have targeted you. That to them means it's not personal. But I think it is very personal. Whatever it is that you had that they wanted, either you worked very hard for it, or it was you and it was your body and it was your heart and it was your soul, or it was your child, because this is a person who may very well have a child with you. And to you, it's like, that is your son, or that is your daughter, or that is your legacy, or that is your heart. To this person, it's an insurance policy. That's what it is. I don't think they come off that way. I think this person comes off kind of like soccer mom, right? But again, like if you are the person in pile number 1, or if this is a situation where this person's kind of overlooking a dynamic between pile number 1 and pile number 2 as a person, like as an interaction, then this person feels threatened by the presence of the pile number 1 person. And this person that's who they're trying to be, is the pile number 1 person. This person thinks that they're very intelligent, and they do have a type of intelligence here. They want you to think that they're intelligent. That's something that they want you to know, and they kind of want to flash it. And this will be their downfall. It's weird because this person wants you to know that they're scheming, and that they kind of have targeted you in a way, but they want you to feel helpless about it, or worthless, or like there's nothing you can do to call them out about it directly, because they have this very like, what do you mean? Like, I'm so warm and I'm so excited and I'm so well liked and people love me and I'm very communally oriented, and this person likes the people, and they create things around them where it's like, they create their image in such a way where people cannot kind of call them out directly, like in whatever way. And they like that, but they kind of, if you're their target, either, they have targeted you to mooch off of you, or they've targeted you in order to kind of pick on you. They want you to know a little bit that they are in charge, that they are dominant. This person is after like some type of dominance or control. And I think with the pile number 1 person, they can't quite get the same footing that they can get in like with other people, because like I said, in pile number 1, I know a lot of you like maybe haven't watched that, but the pile number 1 person, their observational skills are second to nobody. They are masterful at pulling data out of their environment, and especially about people, just very naturally, like in how they run their lives. They're very scorpionic, pile number 1. They have like a strong depth of knowledge about their own psychology, about their own shadow side, and it empowers them here in this way. This person thinks that they have that type of intelligence, but because they're not well-rounded, this is a very kind of single cell amoeba, one-dimensional, man, we're picking up the storm just like really kicked up here. I think this person is mad. Like, this person does not like the way that I'm describing them, because it challenges their own identity, and their identity is everything. This is a person who's like PR image, and they don't have to be like a well-known person. Like, I kind of think that they're not. For most of these people, they very well could be, because it just depends on like how high functioning this person is and what they're doing, and how, I think honestly, how attractive they are, how far they can get with it, and like how big their targets are. Do you know what I mean? It would depend on like those kinds of things here with this person. But I think that they would very much not like me telling you exactly what's going on here behind the scenes, because it's their everything. And that's maybe even what has gone on here in this situation, because this person is mad. And I think it has to do with like, they are overlooking like, either, again, pile number 1 or pile number 2, they're overlooking like a situation here, and they don't like what it is that they see. But they're like kind of hanging back, and they're observing, and they're kind of just watching this. Now, another thing is, and again, I'm not sure what this person, if like, so much what they want you to know. Like, if you've had a fight or a conflict here with this person, they're giving you the front of like 2 of Cups, and that they're sociable, and again, that they're pro-social, and that they want to work things out, or that they care. Be careful, because this person kind of fronts friendship and stuff to get people's guards down, to kind of sucker punch them, or to catch them off guard. So this is the energy that like scares me most in the world. I think this is the most dangerous type of like a predator energy on the planet. And this person does have predator energy. So that's what I mean by your emotions would tell you something's off about this person. If you're like alone in a room with this person or something, and if you don't, I want to say this, if you're not sexually attracted to them, some might feel scary, you just feel a little heightened. The hairs on the back of your neck stand up a little bit. Now, if you're sexually attracted to this person, you might mistake that heightened sense of like adrenal response for a type of sexual attraction, or you might actually, I don't know, maybe this person is very attractive. If they are, heaven help you. But so part of it, again, it's like, it's not personal. This person has like, I think they come off very soccer mom and very like exuberant, like I was saying here. in such a way. And like I was saying before, man or woman, I think this person wants to mine feminine energy as a means of getting ahead in the world. But they would try to present themselves as a peak of this energy of some kind of creative or sociability, or as the peak of some type of like feminine energy. But then they would also kind of try to go about this in a way that's like, I'm not like the other girls. There would be that kind of a vibe because this person's competitive. And that's one of the little whiffs about it. This person, in order to really, they do a double speak thing, right? Where they say one thing, but then if you really watch their actions and the life that they build, it does not add up to that thing that they claim and the thing that they're kind of PR type, because this person is essentially a PR team where they're just for themselves. They essentially just manage their image to get what it is that they want. This is not a person who is, again, aware of their psychology, that has any kind of depth to them. I really don't think this person even has emotions, right? So, but this person, I think they try to come off like the Four of Wands, like that they have a happy home life, or that they're the perfect partner to build like a healthy, stable, kind of exciting, celebratory family dynamic, group, community, something like that. They want you to think that it's kind of, if this is a woman, like Lady in the Sheets, opposite. Lady in the Streets, Freak in the Sheets kind of vibes. Like everything is like just the pinnacle. They might try to actually morph themselves into kind of like that fantasy kind of like, image of what peak femininity is, but then they would be saying things like all women matter. But this person, and I hate to say it like this, I wish there was another way to say it, I think they hate women. Okay, so if this is a woman, they feel ugly by comparison to other women because they don't actually have this like kind of feminine energy, but they recognize that I'm hearing men like that feminine energy, or that feminine energy kind of gets people wherever it is that they want. They've recognized the value in it, and so they're seeking to kind of leech off of it, but they know they kind of don't have it. And I think that this person feels like ugly by comparison, like with other women who are creative or who are social or something. But then it's weird because I think that this person, at least at some point in their past, they've tried to paint other women who are genuine in this energy. They've tried to paint those traits in them that they actually try to like mine. They try to paint it as a problem. And they might have done this with you, especially if you were like this type pile number one type of a person. And I'll talk about that here in just a second. So it's like this weird energy, but they feel very competitive here with other women because they synthesize women as a threat to what it is that they have and that they're seeking to maintain. And I want to pause because I want to talk about if this person here is a man. Now, like if this person is a man, they still have like what I want to describe as female sociopathic energy. And obviously we're not diagnosing anybody. I'm not qualified to do that. But what I mean by that, like the archetype that's kind of coming forward in my mind, and again, I'm not like saying that this person is a sociopath or it's just like the vibe, the energy that's coming to mind is very Justin Timberlake, right? Where he is like, he's very Venusian in that he's very talented dancer, singer, songwriter, creative kind of an individual, and he's made his image and stuff like that. He also comes off very sociable and he's like very funny. So this is the type of person, like I think women actually feel comfortable around someone like Justin Timberlake, or they like his traits because he's personable and he kind of connects with women, and he comes off like he's cleaned and like well washed and he's manicured, he takes care of his appearance, things like that. He's friends with Jimmy Fallon, who's like a comedian, and they like kind of have this banter, right? And I think I was watching Shallon Lester. I'm not entirely sure if this is her. There's things I like about her. There's things I don't like about her. I'm a very nuanced person. I'm very capable of that, like very nuanced perspective. I know that she's got some things. But she was saying that she had crushes on people like Justin Timberlake or Justin Bieber or something like when she was younger because they looked like her. They didn't have that like masculine, I have like a 5 o'clock shadow. I'm big and bulky and I'm scary. So when she was younger, it was like kind of, safer. And now like that she's an adult, she finds herself more drawn into masculine energy because she equates it with like being strong and being predictable and stable and like all of those things. But I feel like this person might have that kind of like prepubescent, I'm a man but I'm not too threatening, kind of a vibe to them, and they're very kind of sociable and they kind of seek to use that. But like recently, right, Justin Timberlake has had to issue apologies for the ways that he specifically treated women. So when you start to hear like things come out about his personal life, like how he treated Janet Jackson with like that whole debacle, and he got out there and he played the victim and he lied and he said, oh, I was under the impression that there was just going to be the bra that came out when really he is the head of like Justin Timberlake Incorporated. Him and the head of Janet Jackson Incorporated like sat down and they were planned everything out. He was like the highest level, but he's trying to paint himself as a victim. And Janet came out and said that she felt hung out to dry. And then in one of his songs, he said something like, you know, stop mumbling on TV, you know, we missed you on the charts last week. Oh, that's right, you wasn't there. Like shady, kind of throwing it in her face that, or at least that's what speculated that was about her, where it was throwing it in her face that she took all the flack for that, and his career boomed because of that. It was the same thing with how he treated Britney Spears, where he came out even though he cheated as well, some reports say, but he was like playing that victim role, and he would do that doublespeak thing of, you know, I love her, I understand, like, we were young, like, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, okay, well, like, sing us a song. And it's like, at least you gave me this song about a horrible woman. And it's like subtle, really subtle, you know? But for years, he kind of like came at Britney in a really there's so many like interesting videos about him that if you're dealing with if this is a male energy, it's got that kind of a vibe where when you start to hear about their personal life, you start to realize that they're kind of using people, and I think especially women or creative types or something, to maneuver and to get ahead in their career or something, but they're trying not to get called all out about it directly. They're trying to, I'm sorry, I'm this, I'm that. Now, I don't know Justin Timberlake. I'm not like trying to say that that's what he's doing. It seems like that. Like from my perspective, that's like the vibe, right? Even the way I'm talking about him now, it's like, well, I can't call him out directly. Like, I don't know, but like it's sus. That's the vibe like you kind of get around this person, male or female, right? Now, regardless, this is a person who like they don't really experience emotions, and I mean they kind of do. The types of emotions that they experience are very, very shallow, and it's kind of centered around their mind and in their head, and like kind of around their eyes. I feel like this person's eyes could like well up or they could cry, but there's always this like anger or this rage or this petulance or like a self-pity, like toddler temper tantrum, that should be mine, like kind of an energy. But then like that's what their emotion is telling them, and that's when this person kind of lashes out. But it's very strategic kind of the way that they do it, or they try to like come at people or cut people or make people bad or smear campaign people, and they feel justified in doing that because, like I said, this person does not like have emotions. And so it's almost like the way that they synthesize other people in their environment is they assume that they don't have emotions in the same way that this person doesn't have emotions. They think that everybody is jockeying for a position and that everybody is being competitive, especially women or like creative types or people that are like good socially. This is a person who just thinks, well, they're doing that on purpose to get ahead because this person creates this I'm social persona to get ahead. That's what they're doing. So that's what and they're not capable of empathy. And this is not a nuanced person. They're kind of a single cell amoeba. So they just assume that that's what other people are doing, even though that's not what you're doing. And if you are like a female or like a Venusian type that this person has kind of targeted as a threat to their position in their family or in a corporation or to their narrative, to their way of life or something, they're going to come at you with everything they have. First of all, they're going to feel absolutely justified in doing it. Justified is the name of Justin Timberlake's album. Oh my gosh, Spirit is being cheeky. But they're going to feel absolutely justified in doing it. But I don't think you're doing any of these things at all. So you might be completely baffled or confused by the way that this person is dealing with you in this like sort of hostile way, or like any underhanded comments that they're making, or ways that they kind of subtly suggest that you are alien or pitiable or lacking or stupid or whatever it is that they're trying to insinuate in order to kind of like cut you down and knock your position. And again, I think that you would have encountered this person in a very competitive environment, or where the person who is the leader of this environment is asleep at the wheel and they're not making sure that it's a cooperative environment. And that you know, that people who have those truly cooperative like values, and it's showing in the results, because that's what's apparent in this person. I think they get the lip service down because they're very aware of image and how powerful image is. That's really all they have. It's the only card they have to play. And getting involved with a type of person like this, either if you're the pile number one person, then you're involved with this person to know who you're not. You know, I think, like, again, you have similar skills where you're very good. You navigate social situations and stuff very well. I think if you were manipulative, you could get whatever it is that you wanted in this kind of like succubus, like taking and not really giving back sort of way, and you're scared of being that, and you're around this person to know that actually there's a gulf of difference between you and the way that you come across in the world and how this person is behaving in the world. If you're the second group of a person, then I think you have something. I think you're from spirit, and you're not to think that it's yours, and you have like money or skills or wisdom or something like that. And it's part of your spiritual lesson would be you've got to see beyond the facade. You cannot trust people's kind of two-dimensional carbon like poster cutouts of, this is who I am. You've got to start developing ways, kind of like pile number one, which is why I think like this could be like a whole work environment where there's these different types of people that are like involved, or a social group where there's all these different kinds of energies, and everybody's trying to kind of understand where everybody's coming from here. There's massive spiritual lessons at play here. And this person, like I said, there's somebody here who I think is in a leadership position, or they could potentially be targeted, this person, for what they have, so that this person could like suckle at the teat of it, right? And what they're learning is how to see people genuinely. They need to start developing ways, kind of like this pile number one person, where they can extract data from their environment, and especially from the people around, so that they know who to trust, and they can make sure, because this is what they're charged with, they can make sure that charitable energy, what they have to give to people, gets to the right places and kind of like in the right way. Now, what scares me the most about this person is how they synthesize the world, really, because this is a person who's very black and white in their thinking. Like I said, they're very two-dimensional. They can't really handle nuance. This is also a person who thinks they think they're smart, and they do have the type of intelligence, but because, like I said, they're only smart in the air element, not earth, not water, not fire. And so like there's a lot of blind spots that this person has that they don't account for, and this person thinks they're playing chess, and they're actually playing checkers. I think they're quite good at playing checkers, right, with the black and the white pieces, and you can only make certain moves. But in chess, you have different types of pieces that can move different ways, and you've got to think much more longer term. This person, they think they're playing chess, they're not. So again, against like and it's not, I hate even to say the word against a person like pile number one, because pile number one is just trying to protect themselves. They do all of this to protect themselves and others. It's a defensive, knowledge gathering kind of a strategy. And again, it's like because they come from this pure place with it, they don't have a blind spot. Arrogance kind of leads to blind spots, and this person has like a self-centered like arrogance to them, right? But like that's why they don't do so well. Like and I think this person is kind of a purple unicorn, like this pile one person who might be you, that's like involved here, like kind of with this person. Now, like I was saying, what scares me most is how this person synthesizes things, because they're very black and white. They could split. So even like when they're dealing with you, it's like you're the best person alive. Whenever you do something that benefits them, or that they approve of, or that tells them that you're believing their facade and that you're falling in line with their plans, then you get praised, hurrah, confetti right up your booty. If you do something this person doesn't want you to do, if it's not in their little checker game, you are demonized. You are the worst person. How could you do it? Gosh, you're so stupid. Whatever. It's like they very much split. But also it's like the way that they categorize events in the world and things that happen, again, very black and white. Good, bad, right, wrong, yes, no. No nuance. And it's reminding me of the quote that tyranny is the deliberate removal of nuance. So this person actually is a tyrant. Now that's not their mask. And they don't want you to realize they're a tyrant. And this person, their only card, their literal only card, is lip service that creates this PR identity. That's all this person does. Right? So like that's like the only thing. And once you become aware of that, then it's like you're probably going to be put in the bad category, but then you kind of become aware what this person's like energy like really, really is, So in terms of like the synthesizing, when they put people into categories, it's not based on a well-rounded idea of who they are. That's what I mean why they're not they're not psychologically minded. They're not deep. They don't have a depth to them. They're not philosophical. They might try to throw around, this would be like a word salad type energy. They try to throw around these words, but there's an obvious feeling that they don't know what they mean, or they don't have anything but a superficial understanding of these things. I think it's obvious, like when you kind of like pay attention to this person in a type of way. and you don't want anything from them, if whatever their bait is on the hook doesn't work for you, then I think it's obvious, right? But they put these people in these categories not based on what they're doing for the world, because this is something where it's like, if you had to make a decision that was truly good for the company but bad for this person, they would understand and you would still be in the good category, even if they had to add a nuance to you, like, it was good, you really hurt me, but you're capable of doing the hard thing when the time comes, and it's, even though I'm dealing with a situation, I can still honor and respect that that's who you are as a person. This person's incapable of that. If you cross them, and if you do something, you could be Mother friggin' Teresa, you could be Saint Germain, like whatever, like if you cross them, you go into the bad category. It's very selfish. It's very two-dimensional. It is very self-centered here about this person. Now, the other thing that I want to, the other thing about this person's energy, it's coming off very, the way that I want to describe this is like Mom Corp from Futurama. And I think this person could be a mother, but now like what I'm seeing is like a race car driver's jacket where they have different like patches or buttons or something like that. So this person accumulates titles in order to signal a warmth, a sociability, a charity, and things like that. And so the best way that they do it is like the type of job that they do, or different activities that they get involved with, or things like being a mom or being a dad, that come with a link, a pre-made link to certain warm traits. This person will do those things as like this corporate identity that they have in order to signal like a warmth and a depth and a genuineness and a sociability and a cooperativeness that they don't actually possess, like as their natural energy. And the way spirit communicates this to me is it's like you've got mantles and you've got labels. So this would be somebody who like becomes a parent for the label of being a parent, and because it's kind of a beard or it's kind of a mask to these other more cutthroat, selfish, competitive kind of qualities that they really have. And they would probably have children for some type of competitiveness. Look how smart my kid is. They won this trophy. There would be like a kind of obsession maybe with like the kid's traits or talents or anything that makes a child extraordinary, or I mated with this person who is exemplary, and so now I have a superior spawn regardless of whether they do or whether they don't, because it can kind of like go either way. And like this is not a person, I don't mean that in like, this person means that in a very two-dimensional trait-oriented way. They wouldn't see a child who is just themselves and successfully being themselves as having a type of value. That's the energy that I'm trying to describe to you. But they try to make it out, and it's lip service, very two-dimensional PR. They try to signal that they have taken on roles like the role of parent or any other role, honestly. And I bet their job would be something that tries to signal pro-social or something, right? But they would try to signal that, it's because I take on the mantle of these things, but they don't actually. And I think, like, again, you've got to put this person in context. You have to be able to do that. You have to see their track record. Have they actually made decisions that would, even when it's difficult, that would mean that they're actually upholding some kind of a mantle? Again, I think when you really start to look at this person, you start to poke through this like paper thin facade that they carry around. It's obvious, right? So, okay. The other thing that, so just in regards to this Mom Corp, like from Futurama, if you're not familiar with that show, it's kind of like Amazon. Like that's what Mom Corp is. It's a business. And so like they paint up like all their advertising is mom, and it's like, I made you this product because I want you to feel like warm cookies. Like it's very like, but then behind the scenes, she's mean to her sons and she's slapping them around, and how could you be so stupid, and la 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 la, that's what I mean is there's this kind of like Mom Corp, the brand, and it doesn't have to be mom. Like again, if this could be like a very, I don't know what it would be like to this person specifically. I feel like it's probably obvious, like whatever this person's facade is. Now, the other thing, this is like something that's really kind of gets to the heart here about this person, and a bit how like they maintain this this structure that's here around them, because there's something about them that is very like gargoyle, right? Like that's standing out here to me. I don't usually see this like here in the background. I can't even remember if I've seen this before. If I have, it like doesn't really stand out to me. Usually, but it's standing out to me here now. There's something gargoyle-esque here about this person, like very rigid, again, two-dimensional stone, like stubborn. I think this person has a type of like rigidity to them, but gargoyles, like they're outside of homes or like castles or places. And I do feel like this person, there's a place or there's a position, like it could be a mental position or something that they've taken up as their like identity. That could be their place. Like, I am a teacher, I am a therapist, I am a mom, I am a this, right? And whatever it is, I think it's actually decidedly very not corporate. Like, whatever their energy is, the image is not at all corporate, but it kind of has this competitive corporate attitude, right? But I feel like there's a place, and it could be a community, a home, a center, their office, like whatever it is, it's a place, right? And this person kind of perches like a sentinel, right? And they feel like they do have this like very superior position that they have. This is the person's energy that we've been picking up on, where they feel like they have some kind of stature, privy position, where they see the kind of comings and goings. And it's because this person wants to see everybody who's kind of coming in here to this place. So that's where, like, if you're one of these other people, this person, I think, has probably approached you and approaches everyone who enters this place first. I think if you were at all in touch with yourself and with your empathy, it would feel kind of off-putting or like very aggressive, like in a type of way. But to other people who are part of this place and a part of this homogeny that I'm about to describe to you around this person that they work very hard to maintain, then it's kind of obvious that it feels a little bit like this person's the immigration police, like kind of this place of like, who are you? Where are you going? What are your intentions? Blah, 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 blah. This person's not, they're not as good as they think they are. Okay. But like, they try to kind of like ask you certain questions that don't seem like rapid fire interview interrogator style. But it very much is. It's like with pile number 1, there's like a natural sociability, a natural like politeness that like just things kind of flow out over time. And that's how they're kind of able to naturally, with the course of things, pull out information. This person is like rapid fire, aggressive, approaching like energy. And it feels confrontational to people entering this space. And it's supposed to. But these people around don't quite catch on to it. And that's all by design. Because this person, and I think this would become obvious to you, there is a homogeny around this person in regards to the people that they hang out with. And it would be like everybody around them has the same values, the same ideas. And there's a sense of like recycled air here around this person, where it's like they have the same conversations about the same things. I feel like these people are all basically living the same kind of life, you know, and they frequent the same places and they have the same policies and the same concerns because they've all built the same kind of life, right? That's this like homogeny here that's around this person, even though because this person is very aware of image and they're very aware of like social talking points and what's acceptable and what's not. This is a person who would preach like how important it is that everybody's diverse. But when you really listen, when you see this, it's obvious that they built this homogeny around them and that they believe that their values and stuff, it's like, yeah, well, everybody can like have their own values and things. Of course they can, but mine are superior. That's the subtext to everything this person does. I think it's kind of obvious because this would be, it's like, but you're just not with regular people, or you're not, there's nothing about their life that says I'm average, or like I'm okay with being average because being average is not a crime, or like, you know, something here like that. And so they would say certain things, but it's obvious that they feel that their way of being and the people who hold and share those ideas and their values or run in their circles or frequent the same places as them, they're actually superior and they have the right way. But you're entitled to live whatever way you want, just not as good as mine. That's like, and this person doesn't catch that in themselves. And I think to a certain extent, these homogenous people don't either, because it's because of this homogeny that exists within this group around this person that a competitive atmosphere arises, and this person thrives in competition and they are competitive themselves, so it feels normal to them. And that's what they work hard to maintain, because when everybody's doing the same thing, how you distinguish yourself is by doing it better than other people or worse than other people, and knowing where you sit in that hierarchy. That is the extent of the diversity that this person kind of like recognizes. This person's like, well, you know, my husband is this famous video exec. So, you know, everybody that we hang out with is of a certain caste and a certain echelon. And yeah, like there's other people around. I mean, you know, Mary Jane, she doesn't have as much money as us, or she, you know, it's like that, you know? And they think that they're tolerant, but they're just jockeying for position, and they might be comfortable with their position. Does that make sense? But this would be apparent to you. Now, they mask this as a type of caring behavior. And I heard when I said caring, it came out Karen. Like this person is like a Karen in disguise, I think. But it masks as a type of caring behavior, because what this person will do, this aggressive, like, I police everybody who comes into this environment kind of a thing, because I'm really sniffing out if they're going to be a threat to my position in this family or in this community, or if they're going to be a threat to rival my ideas as superior or something like that. And if you're pile number one, they definitely feel that way about you. And what this person will do is, if they view you as a threat because you're beautiful, because whatever, then they front to you like there's this Two of Cups kind of an energy. And I'm gonna switch the way that I'm speaking, because I think for a lot of you, like, you've lived this here with this person, especially if you're pile number one. It's like this person thinks that you are competing with them and that you're trying to usurp them here in some way, just by the nature of your existence, because I think you're a female, or again, like, you're a creative type person. They just think that that's what you're up to because that's what they're up to, and that's how they synthesize the world, like I was saying earlier, right? Now they would put on this like Two of Cups front of like, I'm pro-social and I'm cooperative and I'm getting along with you. And I think that you felt that way here towards this person, but it feels, again, very surface level, very polite, very neighborly almost, but it's you're different. And I think you actually have a very diverse energy about you, where you have been in diverse situations. And so you're comfortable kind of dipping in and out. Even if you're dipping in and out of different homogenous groups, you're comfortable doing that, but you don't want to be a card-carrying member of this group, if that makes sense. And so for you, it was very surface level, and I don't actually think you're guilty of doing any of the things that this person machinates, because there's a fixation here that they think of like over and over and over and over and over again, and accuse you of, either in their mind or literally to significant other people around in their circle. I think it was anywhere from 2 to 5 people that this person could have been talking, spreading mess on your name in order to preserve this homogeny, right? We'll talk about that in a second. I don't think you actually bothered about this person. I don't think you really thought of them much, other than to think, oh yeah, this is just like a friendly 2-dimensional kind of thing. And if you started to catch on at all, it's because you kind of suddenly became aware that this person was competing with you, or that you started getting treated differently there, or people were staring at you, or people were like, started to kind of creep up on you that something wasn't right, or spirit might have made you aware of this, because spirit has decreed that this whole puppet master thing that this person thinks that they're doing and maybe has been able to get away with within this certain very specific set of dynamics, that is going to stop. And I think that this pile number one person, which I think is you for most of you, you are the easy way. Because for you to get seen genuinely, this person would have had to make room for you in a genuine type of way. Instead, what happened was they wanted to cosplay this. And so I think they went about cosplaying a type of like olive branch moment, where they reached out to you, or they tried to connect with you in like a type of way, but they planned for this to fail the entire time. They said either they did it in an awkward way, they said something, they invited you to something they knew you wouldn't want to go to. They intended to bring you conflict and to rival against you and to compete against you here in some way. But when they come at you and the interaction between you is private and you can feel the aggression off of it, that when this person turns around and like what they say to other people is, well, I don't know what happened. I don't know what went wrong, because I tried to extend this olive branch. I tried to get to know pile number 3. I tried to bring them in to our group, right? I was trying to be inclusive. Do you hear that splitting in the doublespeak? I was trying to be inclusive, right? But it's still, the way they're framing that is us and them. And you're the them of that. And I don't think the people around them care or like can pick up on it, either because they're pile number 2 and they're too busy and they're focused on their own arrogance and their own, I'm going to get mine, and they're just not listening, or these people are so homogenous that they don't care to actually and genuinely be inclusive. It's not in their values, so they don't hear it when people don't actually like live up to that, right? So there's this sense of like, well, I was trying to bring them into our us group, and they didn't behave in the way that all of us are accustomed to, because we're all alike and we have this weird homogenous culture. And I mean, when somebody, but whatever it was, it's like elevated, like, I mean, this person just didn't have manners. There's this undertone, because I think this person is kind of slick in the way they use their language, where they kind of imply certain things. And they know they can get away with it here in this group, but like they imply that you were combative or that you were less than There's something about you, the way they're talking about you, it sounds caring. They want to pass it off like they extended an olive branch because they are insert good adjective here, caring, concerned, whatever. But you're pitiable. You're an alien. You're different. You're pathetic. Like if they didn't extend that olive branch to you, there's no way that you would have been accepted. And because you are lesser than, but you don't see yourself that way. And you're actually very socially adept. And I think that there's a natural leadership quality to you that threatened this person, where you don't have to have like a title. This person has to have position or title to be taken seriously as a leader or to wield any kind of like anything. They have to have a place next to somebody important, or they have to be able to control them, or they have to get to a position of themselves for anybody to take them seriously and for them to have pull, because they don't have that natural quality that you have. And they're, in a sense, they're very jealous of you because people just naturally, I think, pay attention to you. You have a very natural gravitas to you. And even if you don't have the credentials or the qualifications, you don't rest on that. It's not a part of your identity. I don't think you really even care, which is like part of why people like you so much and part of why this person can't tolerate your presence. This person wants to cosplay this feminine, warm, nurturing energy. They can't tolerate the real thing around them because in the face of the real thing, the faux-ness of what they are doing, and I think to a certain extent this competition energy becomes very, very apparent. So they have no other means other than to try and snuff it out, to degrade it, to make to use words that are unbecoming. And I think this is particularly targeted towards women, but this could be a person who like says that they're a feminist, and then they anybody, a feminine who like you, who expresses their femininity in a way that this person finds unacceptable, they say that you're not being a feminist. Or if you feel like you can, like this person has genuinely bad behavior, and if you call them out on it and you just hold them accountable, like you should be able to do with any person, regardless of their gender or their sex or their race or anything, then this person is going to say that you are doing that not because you're holding them accountable, because they can't look at that and they can't have other people looking at that. They're going to say that you did it because you are what they really are, even though you're not. Does that make sense? So there's this gargoyle sentinel. I'm screening everybody who comes in here to see if I can control them, to see if I can puppeteer them, to see if they're a threat to me. And then they get put in this like good or bad category. And if you get put in the bad category, even if it's because you're great and you're inspiring, then this person feels justified in doing anything to undercut you. And that's what's happened here in this situation, because I think that there was some gossip going on, and I think that this person was very careful and very calculated in terms of the specific little words that they wanted to associate you with, and it was less than words. They tried to paint the qualities of you that are good and that are positive and that actually would have put this person in their place like as a bad thing. Now, the last thing that I want to say is that this is over here with this person. And some of you need to understand there's something that's going on here because this person's being watched. Okay. And what I find interesting is either this is happening in the real world where they have fixated on you so much, and by thinking that you are scheming and that you're competing with them, and you're not actually doing that. The only reason they're fixated on you is because you're a genuine contender, and that job or that spot or that position is genuinely yours by birthright. Like, because of who you are as a person, if anybody, according to this person, if anybody had any sense about them, you would be the leader, or you would be, you know what I mean? That's according to them. They feel inadequate by comparison. And because they feel that way, they're fixated on you, and they're telling themselves and probably others that you're competitive and you're coming for them and this, that, and the other thing. And they're so focused on you that what this person doesn't realize is that there's somebody watching them, somebody who is actually doing all of these things that they're accusing you of doing. And I don't know if it's like because this person fixated so hard, they're actually like they've manifested this into their space, or I mean, if this is just karma, this is just, I do feel like the divine is actually involved here. Because this gargoyle, is obviously on the other side of this cloud where the sun is, like working for spirit. So this is spiritually sanctioned in some way because this person just refuses to behave and to learn their lesson the easy way. Because what I'm getting is you were the easy way. If this person showed genuine like deference to your strengths, or just, which we all do. That's a natural part of being human, is you recognize when people are strong. If this person was genuine in this way, then like this situation kind of wouldn't be happening. Now, the other thing is that maybe you've been praying. Like, I think some of you could have felt betrayed by spirit because you felt drawn to this group or to this place, or you felt led here to this person and to trust this kind of Two of Cups, and then to find out that you were so you were treated so poorly and badly and betrayed. Some of you were just outright betrayed, where you were like framed for something that this person in reality was doing. And I think you felt so badly, and you called out to spirit in whatever way you do. Either your heart was hurting so badly, or you were so confused, or you had this rug pulled out from under you, realization or moment, which for some of you, spirit told you what was happening. You have actually called on spirit for justice, not for vengeance. And that's something that some of you need to understand, because I think some of you feel that just calling for justice in a situation, wanting there to be fairness, looking to see if there are repercussions when people do bad things, that's something that you just need in order to feel safe in the world, and need to understand, like, that's your worldview, is that karma is a real thing, and karma is absolutely coming from this person, because this could be like some kind of high level spirit guide, or I'm hearing Archangel Michael here for some of you. That's like warrior energy that's actually coming in, because I feel like this person here that we're examining, they're gonna get caught doing something in 4K is what I'm getting, and this is like kind of divine judgment energy. There could be records, paperwork. People are going to start catching on. People around this group, they're going to start paying attention, right? There could be, this person could be a type of person to stoop to like criminal behavior. And if they have done that, there's like record of it. Or this person's going to get like called out for it, and they like lose their license. Or this is going to be a person who gets caught stealing or doing something shady on camera. Like, they don't realize there's a camera there. And if you're the person dealing with this person, maybe this is a sign to check the records, check emails. You might actually have something here that catches this person doing something. And that could be like, this could be a police officer. This could be somebody in a company that has to screen for people to make sure that people are behaving in above board fashion. Like, if this person's trusted with private information, I feel like there's somebody whose job that is to make sure that everybody's behaving well and to just kind of monitor things. This person's going to get caught doing something. And it's going to be obvious what it is that they're doing, and they're not going to get away with it anymore. They're not going to, spirit is coming in to say enough is enough. And this would be the type of person where this is their MO. This is like the way that they interact with people. This is somebody who wants to inflict harm. They like to get like this worm on a hook energy. They like to make people feel inferior to them. They like to have a type of dominance, and it's a social kind of way that they go about doing this. So this was like a very, very long reading, but like I said, this is the energy that scares me most in the world, because this is truly, like, to me, this is the most dangerous energy on the planet, because you think it's your friend, you never see it coming. And if there are like tough guy types around where it's like they won't actually put up with bad behavior, like, they can be kind of easily fooled by this and actually end up becoming pawns or becoming weapons if they're not aware, if they buy into this kind of like a facade. So yeah, I wish you a lot of luck if you are dealing with a person like this. I think you have luck on your side is what I'm saying. Like, I think spirit is actually involved here in this situation. If you have karmically been wrapped up in this person and you've been bankrolling them, or you've been like there's going to be some level of consequence here, but it's important that you're owning your part in it and you are absorbing the consequence, because if you're not, I promise you there's somebody who is. There are consequences to this person's kind of behavior. And I feel like spirit is really kind of getting on to this person. The other thing that I'm getting, this is going to be the last thing I say, there's something disconnected about the body here to this person. So I think for some of them, this could be a person who equates beauty with thinness, even though those are not synonyms necessarily. And so if they're feeling lesser than, so part of like where they're competing, this could be a person who like dangerously restricts their diet, like in a self-harm kind of way. I don't want to say the word because I don't think I can say it on YouTube. they might do something here like that. That might be a signal that they're actually getting competitive with somebody, or even that they're not doing well. And maybe that's a shared energy of this group, so nobody kind of calls them out on like, I mean, even them hurting themselves. Like, you look unwell, or like you're doing something that's dangerous, you know, and like maybe we should get you a drip or something like that. Like it could be like there's just nobody home. There's like nobody kind of paying attention. The other thing could be that they're not paying attention to their body. So maybe this could be why they're feeling unattractive, is because maybe they don't check in with their body, so they overeat, or they don't exercise, or they don't get out and get some fresh air. They're not like taking care of themselves. But I think another way that energy could be coming through is just that they don't feel emotions like in their whole self like they do. It's this very limited kind of like around the eyes. It's like limited to petulance, anger, rage. But it's like this person will get kind of like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this person. And then they'll like get like that narcissistic rage, and then they'll kind of like want to cry, but then it'll lash out with their anger. It'll lash out with their tongue, or they'll try to say something snippy about like a person, or they'll try to paint them in a bad light or something. It's almost like this person kind of can't really control it. Again, it's because they're not well balanced. And this person does have a type of strategy, but I kind of feel if you kind of, they're not infallible. This person is not infallible. I wouldn't underestimate this person. They're mostly just, because they don't have concern for other people, they're capable of more than other people. They think that amounts to strength, that they don't put any restrictions on themselves, and that they feel justified in taking any measure possible. That's what their success is built on, this person that we're looking at now. It's just that they were willing to do things that better people wouldn't do because they couldn't sleep at night, you know? But yeah, I think this person comes off like, if it's a woman, I think it's very exuberant, very almost harmless, very, there's something here. Look for those labels. Look for that race car jacket. What labels does this person have? Because it's something to do with their career or their hobbies, or again, like their status as a parent or something, where they're not actually those things, but they want to kind of equate themselves with those two-dimensional lists, so that whenever they do kind of other things, they can hide behind and say, well, I'm not that, I'm this other thing, like, you know. So that's what I have for you guys. Pile number 3, or this subset of pile number 3. This was a very intense reading. And this is definitely a person you're going to want to plan around how you're going to deal with this person. You're going to have to. And for some of you, they're watching you, and you need to know that they're watching you. They think that they have some kind of, they're staying out of it. They think that they have some kind of like superior elevated position. But what Spirit is saying is, I'm in charge. I've said this isn't going to happen, and they're not wise. This person does not have a wisdom to them. I'm going to get them. Spirit's like, you stay out of it. You've asked for justice. Let me handle it. This person cannot get out of this. And you do need to make sure, like, consult professionals. You need to make sure that you are crossing your T's and dotting your I's, minding your P's and Q's around this person, because if you don't, they're going to come at you. They're going to get vicious. This is a person who's going to try to paint you as something that you are not. And they don't care if you're not that, or if it ruins your life, or if it ruins your reputation. They don't care. That's who this person is. So that's where this, like, it wasn't personal energy. If you're like, why did this person do this to me? It wasn't personal. They felt entitled to whatever they wanted, that job position, that they felt like you were a threat to, that relationship, that position in a family. You know, this could be like a mom who competes with the people that her children bring home, or like subtly screens them. Seems like she's very warm, but it's actually very critical, and is very good at slipping doubt in. It could be anything. This could be anything. It just depends on what this person wants and how they want to be seen. And I think I'm gonna say it one more time. It's like, this person will stoop to like low behavior, criminal behavior. So, yeah, I just looked up and saw Loki here at the bottom. Oh my gosh. And then Ra. Oh my gosh. And the Jade Emperor here. And they might have like muse energy, or like want to be seen as a muse, or a creative, or a romantic type of a person, or a talented type person. Yeah, but they're scheming around, and they want like maybe power, or they want position here. But I also think this is spirit. This is the horn of judgment. Spirit's like, I'm going to get this person. And some of you need to know that you did not suffer in vain, and that if you felt led by spirit to a group or to interact with this person, that was on purpose. And that was to trap them in the highest karma possible. Because for some of you, this person's done something to you already. They're going to be held karmically accountable. For others of you, they have initiated a process to be hateful, and for them to have done that to your energy, especially if you're an innocent, like pile number one. And spirit is actually not going to let that happen. Spirit's going to block it. But because they've taken that initiatory action, spirit's going to call it. Spirit can actually hold them to a higher level of karma. Because I think this person has like hurt really like a lot of people. There's something here about like the timing of it all. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking at you guys. This is like an energy that makes me uncomfortable and is very like, I would consider this energy dangerous. And whenever this happens, it's like I want to like kind of throw this out. Also, I want you to say, like, I want to say this as well. Keep in mind, this is a person who will try to say that they're going to try to play the victim, or they're going to try to say that you're doing the things that you're doing not out of a genuine sense of justice or calling something out or holding somebody accountable, but that you're doing it because you are flawed or you are underhanded or malintended in some kind of way. And they would use like social causes or something like that in order to do it. They don't give a rat's behind about those causes. They will use them to try to make you to weaken your position, because this person is just playing their little game of checkers and calling it chess. That's all they're really doing. So be safe out there. Eyes wide open. If you can, get involved with like professionals. If this is somebody where you do need to take them to court, for instance, if you can afford it, and if you can figure out a way, get a psychologist involved that understands kind of like this cluster B situation, because the court systems are notoriously bad at dealing about it. So if you can have them kind of talking and game planning with your lawyer, that's your best shot at this. And that's really the best advice that I can really give you, but you need to be moving in shadows. And this person is watching you. And I also want to say this as well. If this person has some kind of camera system up in order to surveil you, this is a double-edged sword, and that's how they're going to get caught, because it's catching them doing shady stuff, and they might not think that you realize that there's a camera system. And if you go to court with this person and they start bringing up camera footage, have your lawyer subpoena their camera footage. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know any of this stuff, but that's just what Spirit is saying. It's like they're caught red-handed doing something. They're caught red-handed doing something. You just have to know where to look. For some of you, your child has actually seen this person doing something. So, okay, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you guys so much. If that resonated, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Bye, guys. Or if this is you, feel free to unsubscribe to my channel. You know what I'm saying? Bye.